sponsorship.
Ray-Ban, sure. What is this?
We need to get
Elgato.
like a tattoo ink sponsorship because
Yeah.
Clutch always got his tattoos out.
Oh,
As I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you right now.
I'm telling you
At
right
some point
now.
in this podcast, I'm probably gonna get naked.
no,
Bro.
don't do that.
I
Well, let me know
listen,
so I
just
could block the YouTube because
just listen
I
to
will
me for a
get it
second.
taken down.
Listen to me for a second. When I tell you that I'm so used to my house being 62 degrees, and if I
Oof.
checked the temperature in this fucking house, we're probably like 78, 79.
Yeah,
It's
I can't
Damn,
do
not.
that.
that's hot. Actually, that's
Yeah.
so hot.
Yeah, no.
Nah.
I am sweating my nuts off right now.
What's
I
up,
almost didn't
Valencia?
wear shorts right now. I almost just stayed in my drawers.
What up, twin? What up? What up? What up, twin?
Yo, real quick. Sorry, just came from the neurologist. Everything is fine. I'm all good. Okay, not gonna have an aneurysm. Thank
My
God.
main man.
I'm glad they told you the same thing I told you, but
I mean,
each their own.
listen, I'm glad Cisco went to school for 8 years and let me know exactly that my brain's gonna be fine. But I decided to get a second opinion, dog. But I appreciate you.
Look,
Uh,
I'll tell you this. I can appreciate the fact that you go and like got checked out. Do I think you went a little over the top? Yeah, I do. But I can appreciate that you care about your body that much that you went to go get checked out.
yeah.
Guess what, bro? We only got one. You know what I mean? And I had been experiencing some fucked up shit, like
It
going in the
happens when you get
shower.
older.
No. This wasn't happens when you get older. I was like losing vision at some point in the shower. Like that was fucked up.
So, okay, let me ask you this then. If that happened and you went to the neurologist and they told you everything was fine, what was it then?
I genuinely think it was I was taking magnesium at that time, and I think I was taking too much magnesium. My theory is that my body is already. I could be complete. This is completely out of my ass. I think my body is magnesium rich, which is why I never get headaches. Because I even talked to neurologist about this, and she found it weird that that I think magnesium caused all this. Because she was about to suggest to me, because I've been getting headaches, or I used to, in like January, February, I was getting headaches. This is why I went to the neurologist. She was like, "Oh, you should take magnesium," and I was like, "Bro, I think the magnesium started all this, and it's why I'm even here." She's like, "Oh, that's so weird because magnesium helps with headaches a lot." So I was taking magnesium before, not for headaches, for something completely different. But I think my body's too magnesium like rich, and then the overdose of magnesium caused me to like have a weird reaction to where, like if I was in the shower with hot water, I would like lose like vision in like a small circle of my eye, like literally where you couldn't see, I couldn't see, and it would cause all sorts of. As soon as I stopped taking it, like a month later, I was pretty fine.
Crazy that that's not like something that you tried though. You know what I mean? Like you weren't like, oh,
I mean,
it was
like,
the
but I
magnesium.
did. That's the thing.
But you still went to the doctor.
But
See,
I went.
like if it
But
was me, I would have been like, oh, it was the magnesium. I'm just gonna stop taking that.
yeah, but it was like a slow roll. It wasn't like I stopped taking it the next day I'm fine. It like it progressively got better. But I had already made the neurologist appointment. We did the MRI. We had already gone through a lot of different things.
Your mind is a crazy thing, brother.
I mean, true. But this is not a mind thing. I just got checked.
I
Plus,
mean, it may have been a mind thing if you got checked and they told you everything was fine.
no, I don't think so. I don't think it
Of
was a
course,
mind thing.
of course you
No,
don't think so.
no, I
But
don't
I'm just
think
telling
so.
you that
Not because
there
it's
is a
like
possibility that it could just be a mind thing.
no, I don't think so.
But they
Oh,
said you're good.
wait,
They
wait,
said
wait.
the
So
brain's
are you
healthy.
not open? So are you not open minded?
No, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying I don't think so.
Okay, okay, but there is a possibility.
Sure. I'm
Okay.
just saying I don't think so.
Do you guys agree that sure is just a shit answer?
Sure.
No,
I fucking hate sure, bro.
I say
No,
sure.
I don't hate
all
it. Hate is
sure.
strong, but I'm just saying like
the
like sure. What does sure even mean? It doesn't mean yes.
Like,
It doesn't
you want
mean
me to go
no.
over? Sure. Bro, I'm not going. Fuck you.
Yeah, like if like, hey, you want to hang out? Sure. That probably means you don't want to fucking hang out. Let's be real.
It's like sure and assured. I can assure you,
Nah,
insane
that's a
short.
stretch. That's a stretch. Hit me with the
Dude.
intro punch. Hit me with the intro, bro.
Everybody around the world, welcome. This is the Usual Tuesdays podcast. I am one of the three lovely hosts here, right? The three musketeers. I am Big Corpse, followed by Save One and 0%.
What up,
The
y'all?
powerful, the wonderful, respectful, and humble gentleman. You guys, it is episode 49. Yeah, we're almost at officially a year. We're creeping in on it. Of a year's worth of
Episodic
time.
year, bro. That's hype.
That's crazy.
We gotta do something.
We gotta pop bottles and take belly
Oh,
shots.
you know what would be dope though? If we really did link and do this shit, and instead of releasing a podcast for episode 52, we released a vlog.
We do a phone vlog. Phone vlog. That'd be sick.
That would be sick.
That would be cool.
Bro, we
We'll
can
have
go
to
to
work
the
it out.
beach and get some ice cream.
Hey, what's cracking?
It's all random. But
What's
yeah.
cracking, Sly and Ranny? Tell Ranny I said what's cracking with him, bro. My dude, this dude Ranny. Dude, I wish you guys could see this little fucker dance, bro. He is probably like of like the little homies from Oxnard, like besides like all the Korpsx fam, like he's like one of my favorites, bro. He's like just unique, like his approach to shit. But what up, Ranny? Shout out Ranny. Shout out to fam.
That's cool. Shout out.
That's so cool. That's so crazy to see that name pop up right there. That's the last person I would have ever thought.
Are you
Boys,
laughing, Save?
You just cracked me up, Zero. Hey, shout out.
What, bro? Like, shout out that you're watching. Damn.
so boys, check it out.
I'm attacking
can't-
Zero all podcasts.
Can't do
tonight.
shit, bro.
So check it out.
Even
I
shit,
discovered TikTok lives.
Oh,
And-
no.
Yeah. I discovered TikTok lives and I kind of ventured down that. I mean, I knew you could do lives on
Oh my
TikToks
God.
and stuff. And
Wait. Like you discovered that you can do them, or like you were watching people's TikTok lives?
like watching them and that
Oh,
there's a dedicated section for it on the platform.
Yeah.
And I got on there. I took a peek. And bro, I was baffled by the way that people have conversation there. Right. And I say conversation because some of the people were using, some of the hosts were like, oh, you know, we're supposed to be having discourse and civil discourse. And that's why today I wanted the topic to be civil discourse. And first and foremost, I wanted to see off the top of y'all's head, what would you consider to be civil discourse?
I mean, the way I view it is like two people can sit down, obviously not agree on something, right? It's pretty obvious. So maybe not in like a debate style thing, but literally just sit there and have a conversation, and nobody really raises their voice. Nobody really gets upset. I mean, you could get maybe there could be some frustration, but yeah, at the end of the day, you shake hands and you're like, I either still don't agree with you, or I can see why you view the way that the things that you view the certain way that you do. But at the end of the day, it's like there's no repercussion after the conversation. Like you don't go on Twitter after and be like, man, fuck this dude, he's a fucking idiot, blah 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 blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Save be doing that to me every podcast, bro.
Follow my Twitter, dog, if you want to see all the Damien hate talk.
That was wild, bro. After every Tuesday, he's like, man, fuck this idiot. Last podcast, I'm like, damn, bro, it wasn't even that bad. I mean, same
I should
thing.
have tweeted yesterday about your fucking dumbass little text message that you sent us.
What did I send? Oh, the
I didn't know
April
people
Fools?
still did April Fool's jokes, motherfucker.
Man,
I
I
call
seen
them-
that shit. I was like, man, shut up.
I call them April babies because they fools. A lot of this,
Yeah. Oh, that was a Carter 3 bar. Okay.
yeah.
Calls them April babies because they foes, my man. I like we're making an impact on
Come on,
Zero's
man.
life.
Y'all are influencing what I watch. And
I
what
was
listen
thinking about
to.
that. I was thinking about that the other day.
I need to watch more movies, to be honest. I need to watch V for Vendetta. I don't know if my girlfriend's down for it. Anyway, sorry, really quick. Back to the question, very, very quickly.
That's such a good movie.
I think it's the same thing. It's a lot of what Save said, but it essentially, yeah, coming down to a table or wherever you may be, talking to somebody who you might not agree with, and I think something that's very cool is being around people who you can talk to about crazy ideas and they don't think that you think that, if that makes sense. They're able to explore the idea that it's a possibility without prescribing the idea to you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. If I were to be like, I don't know. I don't want to give a crazy example, but
Yeah, because
if I were to just say something, if I could say something outlandish, of like, let's just say like, oh, I think China, maybe not that way actually.
You think we could hide a body in the desert? Like, you think we could hide a body in the desert type shit?
You're like, let's say, I wanted to make food sources more available. We should probably kill like half of the population, like Thanos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody comes up to you and is like, let's just like chat about why that's probably not the best course of action. Mm-hmm. But you're not like prescribing that that's 100% what they want to do. And like, maybe I was just thinking about it. You're right. Maybe we can like do more agriculture. I don't know, do something.
Yeah. And so, when I look up Wikipedia's definition, and probably not the best source, but civil discourse is the practice of engaging in conversation to seek and foster understanding with mutual airing of views. It is not a contest, rather it is intended to promote mutual understanding. As I was going through these lives, right, there's a couple of these panels, right? They would have like these panels of people that you could like request to be on, and I got on a couple of them. I was able to get on a couple of them, and boy,
what? Wait, you got on a
live,
TikTok?
Bro.
Yeah, you should.
Boy, did I fucking ruffle some feathers?
Oh fuck! I really wish you'd have at least like recorded it, bro. Fuck, now I want to watch it.
I know. I wish I would have, bro, because there was one. Now this is my problem, right? And this is something where I think people need to understand that we are, I think, losing, because I agree with both of you, and I think the definition also agrees with both of your outlooks on what civil discourse is. And when I hear that word, it's like, yeah, is this me and somebody or a group of people? We can all sit down and have an exchange of ideas. And this is one thing I hate in today's time, is where they say, oh, you're just a liberal. You're just a liberal, and this is why you believe the way you believe. It's like, well, liberal by definition is the free exchange of thoughts and ideas, right? And so, of course, like, we're all supposed to be liberal. There's all supposed to be this ability to have a free exchange of ideas and thoughts and perspective. And
that's interesting.
It was sad because, like, okay, so like the host would have their like little picture, right? And then you have all the guests right here. And let's say, God, there's a couple hot ones, but there was one where it was like, let's say, a vote for Trump is a vote for misogyny, racism, and homophobia. Prove me wrong, right?
I'd be on that panel, and
I'm like, yo, like, you're kind of pigeonholing this conversation, and it's not allowing us to have civil discourse. Well, you don't get to tone check me. I'm the host of this debate. These are the words that they're using, right? And I'm like, well, this isn't a debate. This panel is filled with you and your friends, and here I come trying to create civil discourse, and maybe not exactly. And again, even in the definition, it's not a contest. Prove you wrong. Like, I'm not here to prove you wrong. Maybe I'm trying to see if we can come to an understanding here, because I can vote for him and I can completely be against all these things you just listed. You know what I mean? There was another one where it was...
Hold on. Back to that real fast. That is the thing that I genuinely hate about society these days, is that you say one thing and all of a sudden you're against everything else. You're labeled as this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Why are you all like automatically implementing all this hate towards somebody just because they don't agree with the view that you have. I genuinely hate that. Just like you said with the whole like, oh, if you vote for Trump, then that means you're a misogynist. That means you hate women. That you know, like just like all this other shit. Who the fuck? Like, why the fuck is that? What that means?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's funny because I had a friend when I was younger, and everything is always about politics nowadays, and I fucking hate that shit. But I had a friend who I grew up with, and her and I had a conversation one day, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't know you were conservative," and I was like, "Yeah, like what's wrong with that?" She was like, "Well, you're brown. Like, look where you came from," and I
I
was
think
like,
you've told us this, yeah.
"What the fuck?" Like, it one to me that's even more of a reason for me to be conservative, but like because of my skin color and where I grew up, like that's how why I'm labeled that way. Oh, I didn't know that that you didn't respect women, and I was like, what the fuck? If anything, I respect women more than I respect men. But yeah, I really dislike that is where society goes with these types of conversations, and that's why when when we're in the green room and you were like, oh yeah, tonight's discussion is going to be about civil discourse. That's why I said it doesn't exist. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it obviously it does exist because we can have podcasts like this. You have podcasts like Joe Rogan, right? Which he does a fucking great job. Joe Rogan is
Phenomenal.
he does one of the best jobs with having civil discourse because he could like straight up call somebody an idiot or somebody could call him an idiot, and he still continues pushing on with the conversation. And I love that shit. But it's like far and few between nowadays, and it's
And
very
even Rogan has had his episodes where he's lost his lid, right? And I think that doesn't. I think because even people will throw that out there, right? Like, oh well, he yelled at so and so, or he yelled at this person, like Milo, the dude Milo. Him and Milo were getting into it,
is that the
and
flat Earth
Yo,
guy?
but Milo's like a wild character. I
he's
remember
Milo the
watching
flat
his
wild,
art
bro.
that's
for a
the flat
minute.
Earth guy. That's the flat Earth guy.
He's
No,
a lot of things.
That was Eddie Bravo. Eddie Bravo is a
My
huge flat
When
earther.
I tell
my
you that dude is an idiot, oh my god, I couldn't even watch that whole podcast. I could not watch the whole thing. That dude,
M- Milo's that one dude. He kind of came up with the rise of like Jordan Peterson and that like era of like dark web, deep. What is it called? Dark web, deep web conservatives. I don't know, but he was like Christian, and then he was against Christianity. No, sorry, he was against Christianity. I think he might have even been Jewish at some point. Then he was Christian, and then he was gay, and then he wasn't, and then he was
Then
like
he was a gay
fully.
Christian.
Then
Like
he was a
it
gay
was
Christian.
crazy.
Then he was like fully against like gay people like altogether. Um, yeah. Oh shit, this thing is running hot. Hold on. Sorry. Keep going.
well, I mean, but that's the other thing, right? Is like when it comes to those types of conversations, especially with all the, I don't want to call it bullshit, but especially with all the um, concerning things that are going on in the country these days, it's like you got to pick a side.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then if you're on that side, there's certain rules that apply to that side and that don't apply to the other. And I
Mm.
don't think that's fair at all. Like you guys, I was talking to Zero about this the other day. You know about that? He's like a state senate or like a governor or some shit like that, who said that he identified as a like a black woman, black lesbian
Oh
woman.
wow.
I think
Yeah,
you told me about this.
he's this
Yeah.
white dude that he's like, well, I identify like I'm glad that I'm finally able to come out as a black lesbian woman. And then all the LGBTQ people in that area like came up to this pole and like were like, you don't get to fucking like mock us and make fun of us and this that and the other. And he was like, what do you mean, like this is who I am, this is what I identify as, who are you to tell me that I can't identify that way?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like now, now the shoe's on the other foot, right? Like if he turned around and did that shit to anybody else, what does that make him? But because they're part of the community, they're allowed to do that. Like that shit doesn't make any sense to me.
And that's where I had that's where I'm at right now. And again, I have a sister who's lesbian, right? And me and her have had conversations at length about where she feels like her own community is and what she, because I love my sister and I believe that she has the right to exist. Her and her girlfriend are wonderful people and they're raising a beautiful daughter together. And her, I never once in my fucking life have I ever thought that they are incapable or unfit, right? And she has even started to get to this point of like, why are they behaving this way? Why is the people in my own community behaving this way? Why? And she will even ask me, like, you as a straight man, why are straight men and women having these issues with our community? And I'm like, well, do you want me to tell you what you want to hear? Right? Or do you want me to tell you how I feel? Right. And it's like, so let's say drag shows at schools shouldn't be allowed. Like, to me, should not be allowed because we wouldn't bring strippers in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether they were topless or not, we would not. I would not allow my son to watch that. Like, fuck no. Now 18,
We're well,
19.
hold on. We're about to get into some fucking choppy territory right now.
I'm about civil discourse here, baby.
Okay, I'm just.
We got the motorcycle in the back.
Fire it up, baby. Fire it up. Fire it
No,
up.
but to
choppy territory, bro.
I don't know how equal it is, I guess, for the comparison for strippers to drag. Although, well, mainly because I haven't seen either, so I genuinely don't know how sexualized each are, if they're like equivalent to like 1-to-1. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll say this because I did date somebody that like really loved drag, and it is sexualized, but it's not as sexualized as strippers.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is
it's just very like
I feel like
and like cleavage.
Okay.
There's a lot of
like sexualized, but not sexual.
Correct. Yeah, it's very
Okay,
sexualized.
sure.
That's what I would say. It's sexualized, not sexual.
Let's take the school cheerleaders, right? And if that's an argument of like, well, what about the school cheerleaders? Okay, well,
that's
then
actually one that I was gonna. That's what I was gonna. I was actually gonna go that route.
Then let's change their uniforms then.
Well, but you can say that about like volleyball players, cheerleaders.
Now, volleyball players, I can kind of understand why they wear what they wear because there's an athleticism thing there, right? Like there's can they move, jump, do, and because I've never played volleyball. You know what I'm saying?
But then that's like saying take sex ed out of school. Then.
No, because
that was another.
And mind you, I'm only playing devil's advocate here, right? But that's like saying, like if you don't want things in school to be sexualized, then every school in America needs to have a uniform.
Yes.
Every school in America needs to have different outfits for cheerleaders where they wear pants instead of skirts or Spanx or whatever. Same thing that D said with the volleyball shit. You need to take sex ed out. Go ahead.
Well, no, but two things really quick. I have a question in the chat by Crystal Waters. But first, really quick, is sex ed is not sexualized, in my opinion. It's information about sex.
Correct.
That would be hopefully pivotal to know in your later years or in your, soon-to-be years, to not have a baby too early or whatever it may be, STDs, whatever it is. So I think that's super important. To also show the distinction.
But on the other side of that, right, is that the argument that a lot of conservatives use when it comes to like trans kids in school and teaching about LGBT and all this shit is that if we show it now, kids will be more informed about it, and you know what I mean, and they'll ask all their questions now and that. And the conservatives say, well, if you're showing my kid that at this early of an age, that's when kids get curious about things, and then they're gonna want to think that they're little boys and little girls too, and they're gonna want to transition. So the same case goes with sexual education. If you're educating me about that at such an early age, I'm gonna want to try it.
Well, but like to be fair, like isn't sex ed typically taught in like high schools?
6th grade.
Well,
I've never heard of a.
One of the lives I was on.
When we first had sex ed for me.
One of the lives I was on was about teaching comprehensive sex ed K through 12. And I was like, whoa, park it. What do you mean K through 12? And again, that to me is where civil
Yeah.
discourse needs to start.
Because
What
you
do
don't
you
even
mean K through
understand.
12?
Yeah, you don't even understand it at that point.
Well, from K to, like, the lady was saying, like, from K to 5th grade, children need to be to understand, like, what your like this is my private area, no one gets to touch me there, right? And also
Oh,
helping
safety.
them
Okay.
distinguish, because one of the reports that she brought up was about assault cases that were getting dismissed because boys and girls were not describing their private parts properly, right? And
Mm.
also, she also used this reference as in, we may teach our children, their private part is called their muffin or their cookie, right? And your child could come to you saying, oh, Mr. Rogers ate my cookie at school, and you'll be like, oh shit, well, I'll pack you another one tomorrow. Like, I'll pack you an extra one tomorrow because your friend ate your cookie or touched your cookie. You get what I'm saying? And so when you get into the courtroom, there has been cases, maybe select,
I was
maybe
gonna say,
very,
I think it's a little extreme. I think
it's
like that the rarity
extreme.
behind that is insane. But okay.
It's extreme, but the fact, and that's a part of my issue too, is like we cannot allow the minority to control the majority. The majority is the majority for a reason. These are what everyone is agreeing to, right? Not minority like what your race is. Minority as in smaller number of people
Yeah, like the
versus
one
a
offs.
larger number. Yeah, the
Yeah.
one off offshoot shits, bro. Like, we can't allow the minority to scream so loud that it silences the people who all come to an agreement on something.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, that is a little discriminatory. It is at face value. It is discriminatory. Like, yo,
But
just
by
because you
but by
by what?
like definition, everything has to be discriminatory at some level, right? Like you can't appease everybody.
We don't teach
No,
flat earth in high school.
absolutely. No, no,
And
and
that
that's what I
offends
was.
flat earthers.
That's the point that I was gonna get to. Right? D is what you were about to say, or what you just stated, was that at face value, what Corp just said is discriminatory, right? Like, you guys are the smaller number. Really, what you guys have going on, we got a lot more issues going on over here. Like, this is what matters more. That's discriminatory. But the issue at hand, which has been the issue for the last damn near decade, is that now you like, because we noticed that that was discriminatory. Now you gave too much power. Now you took too much into opinion. Now you gave power to opinion, and there's no like. How do you revert from that? How there's no going back to what we were before.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you fix the issue at hand? And I'm not saying that everybody shouldn't have an opinion, but just because you have an opinion doesn't make it fact.
Mm-hmm.
So how do
And
we get
also,
back to factual living?
every person's opinion shouldn't also cause the pendulum to swing. You know what I'm saying? And so I think the minority, in a lot of cases, no matter what it is, they started attaching ism, obia, and ist to all these words. And what it created was a power vacuum of putting people above ridicule, putting them above question, putting them above refute, right? So it's like, oh, well, you don't believe this happened to my child, right? Or you don't care that this happened to my child, so you must support X, Y, and Z. And it's like, no, 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 it's not that, right? So instead of, I think
It's
with
a,
things like, especially like the court cases, we gotta start moving the goalpost on what kind of language is acceptable in the courtroom. You know what I mean? Because for the most part, it's not about what you know, it's what you can prove. You know what I'm saying? And to me, with some of that shit, is that gets murky. That gets really, really murky when you have these type of cases. Like, well, can you prove that this item they're talking about refers to a body part? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be too vulgar on here, especially when it
Sure,
comes
yeah.
into referencing children.
but he's over
Um,
here talking about fuck women every other day.
but children, but
I'm just
children,
going
I
with
will
it. I
protect.
know, no, no,
True.
Children,
yeah, I
children,
got
I
you.
will
Yeah, yeah.
protect. Yeah, you guys
No,
know.
no, yeah.
And again, so they're We got to stop attaching suffixes to everything that pisses us off or
Well, yeah,
anything that
and
we don't
so
agree to.
so that was the thing. So there was this, there was like this cartoon, right? And I don't remember what the name of the cartoon was. There's probably a clip of it on TikTok somewhere. And it was like this cow, this baby cow, and a mama cow.
Wait, I
And
sent that to you. It's the
no, no,
animated
no,
thing, no?
I had saw it before you sent it though.
Oh, okay.
I've seen that clip so many fucking times.
That show's funny.
And
That's my
yeah,
favorite show now. I'm
but he's
binging it.
like, oh no, like I don't know how I feel. Like I'm non-binary, and I'm like, look, if I wasn't a father, I probably wouldn't feel as strongly about it, right? But I mean, I might because I have nephews and nieces who are at a young age. But as a father to a 6-year-old child, he doesn't give a like he doesn't give a fuck about that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there was a girl at school and came up to him and was like, "Hi, Ray, my name is Tommy," and whatever, he's not gonna be like, "Tommy, that's a boy's name. Ew, get away from me." Like he's not gonna be like that. Or if a boy comes in girls' clothes, he's not gonna be like, "Why are you wearing a dress?" Like he don't give a fuck about that. He's gonna be like, "Hey, you want to play sharks with me?" You know what I mean? So like every most everybody that has kids knows that that's how children are. They don't give a fuck about that shit. So
Mm-hmm.
why are we introducing that to them for them to ask questions? Like
Mm-hmm.
the way I look at it is you're creating a problem. You're creating the problem in order to now make everybody whoever's against you have the ism, the obia, the ist, all that shit at the end of whatever it is because they don't agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
And in all honesty, let's just be real, parents these days are soft as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I literally parent my son the same way that I was raised. I don't think I turned out too bad. I mean, granted, I'm sitting in this fucking room at my dad's house now, but mentally, I don't think I was raised that bad. You know what I mean? So all this like parenting with feelings and this and that, and bro, to me, that shit is absolute bullshit. At the end of the day, you're allowing your kid to run your life. That's not how this shit works. I've been called a hard ass parent as many times as I can. If I was that hard of a parent, my son wouldn't want to be with me every fucking day. He wouldn't enjoy spending time with me. We wouldn't have went to go get him donuts today because we were practicing baseball. You know what I mean?
But
So it's like,
honestly, sorry.
You
go
had a
ahead.
question from Crystal Waters too. I want to make sure
Crystal
we touch on
Waters,
that.
yes.
Oh fuck. Okay,
Really,
go
I'll
ahead.
hit that first because I do want to hear what you guys say. So, a little bit earlier in the podcast, we talk about staying away from kind of drag shows due to the fact of their kind of more sexualized nature. Um, Now, two people, so Trip
For children,
Hazard
for
and
children though, for children.
so
Children.
Yes.
Trip Hazard and Crystal Waters have both said that what if, and Jonathan Trip Hazard also said that there was more kid friendly or more family friendly, I should say, drag shows. So let's say these two, options are in front of you. Would you still have an issue with them being a little bit more kid friendly and being more family friendly in general?
Yeah, kids don't need to be around that.
But what is
But
that? What does that mean?
that
Because originally it
that is a
seems like it,
sexual thing. I
well,
mean,
well,
it lies under a category of sex.
so no, because we're talking about like a over dramatized, man who looks like a woman, right? But let's take the sexual nature out of it. Would there still be an issue? Is what I'm
Yeah,
trying to get
yeah,
to
because
the heart of.
over dramatizes like push up bras and corsets and things like
But
that, which are adult.
but we're
That
talking about
that
like family friendly. That's like covered up.
zero, but
It's
that
more.
plays a part in the drag. Like
I
that is
understand.
part of their community,
I get the typical drag is that way, but I'm talking about a more family friendly version of
which is
it.
what I'm saying. If you look up the definition of drag, it is sexualized.
I don't think that's true.
So
Somebody give that a Goog.
Hold on.
go ahead, look it up. Because what is
Drag.
at the end of the day, then I'm just looking at a man dressed in woman's clothes. Like that is that what you're talking
That's
about?
what I hear when I hear a drag queen, right? When I hear the word drag queen, and again, this is just me, I'm a fucking idiot. When I hear drag queen, it's a dude dressed as a chick. That's all I hear. That's what I hear. In a
Yeah,
drag show,
but it's
the,
over the top. It's
um,
loud makeup. It's big hair.
the big
I'm
hair,
telling
pin
you,
up
bro.
hair.
I'm
I
telling you,
feel you.
bro.
I
I
feel you.
had a girlfriend who was like really into drag, and she would go to these shows and follow all these guys and watch them on Instagram and shit. So I'm very familiar with what it is. It's
This is
corsets.
literally
It's
the
these.
definition.
Let's hear it.
It's a performer, typically a man, who adopts a flamboyant or parodic feminine persona with glamorous or exaggerated costume and makeup. Exaggerated
now,
doesn't,
so
by
Google
definition,
Google
mean
image.
sexualized.
Okay, so Google
Hold
image,
on.
drag queen, and tell me when you find one that's family friendly.
Let me look up family friendly.
But in fairness to the question, if it was to be made family friendly, now this is coming from CI,
Oh, boom, bro! I literally found him.
from CI High
I'm
School.
not saying that they don't exist. That family friendly drag shows don't exist. But show
I'm
me
trying
what
to
it
get to
looks
the
like.
root of it. I mean, you could hold on.
I mean, I
This is what
can't.
it
My
looks
computer
like.
don't work.
Oh yeah, true. Well, I'm showing the stream. Like it's more like dresses, makeup, but everything's very like covered up. Thinking about like I don't know if this is offensive. This is Nanny McPhee. Is that her name?
Who the fuck is Danny McPhee?
Is
I don't know.
that-
That's a funny fucking name, though.
Wait,
bro.
is that what-
And why?
Is
And why the
that-
fuck would it be offensive?
Nanny
And why would it be
McPhee?
offensive?
Wait, I'm trying to think of. Oh, not Nanny McPhee. I'm so sorry. This
Mrs.
is
Doubtfire? You talking about Mrs.
not the right
Doubtfire?
person. Yeah, I'm talking about. Mrs.
Okay, now check that out.
Doubtfire.
Because
That's what I'm
Cisco,
thinking of.
say, baby, I agree with you
I'm so
110%.
sorry.
I agree with you. But Mrs. Doubtfire was
Jojo
listed
Siwa.
as a kid's movie.
Mhm.
That is listed as a kid's movie, and that's Robin Williams, bro.
And that's drag.
okay. That's
Technically,
Okay, hold on.
that's where I
Hold on.
smash into
Can I-
that, bro. That's
Can I tell you why there's a difference? Can I tell you why there's a difference?
absolutely civil discourse,
Okay.
baby.
Okay, this is why there's a difference. One, the movie persists to tell you the story on why he was dressed that way.
He was
It
trying to be
wasn't
closer
because
to
he
his kids.
wanted to be. It wasn't because he wanted to be flamboyant. It wasn't because he felt like a woman or he enjoyed dressing in women's clothes. It was because he was trying to be closer to his family, to his
But
children. Hold on, let me finish. And when you go to a drag show, right? A drag show, now I have to explain to my children or my child or whoever, whatever children is there, why these people are dressed up like that.
But what?
Why would I do that?
Why is the issue the want to do something versus not want to do something? Why is that the issue?
Consent.
What
I'm
about
not
consent?
my child did not ask me to go to a drag show.
So my thing
Sure.
is with those shows in the schools, okay, if you want to do it, whatever, right? And again, if we are the minority, if me and Save are the minority in this whole thing, whatever, okay, I'll accept that. But can we agree to have it maybe after school hours, right?
Or I'll just excuse my child from that because it's not something that I personally agree with.
Maybe my kid doesn't. Maybe my fucking kid doesn't want to watch. Maybe he's the jock bully fucking kid, and I God forbid it. You know what I mean? But maybe he doesn't want to see that shit. Maybe, and I don't want to say that shit, but it's just I say that because I don't agree with it.
No,
Right?
because at the end of the day, like at the end of the day, there's family-friendly drag shows for the like the adults are the ones that take their kids to that to watch a show, right? Like to,
Sure.
so and I'm not I'm not like, oh, those parents are pieces of shit. If they're the ones that want to deal with that, by all means, go ahead. Like I would take my kid to medieval times.
Exactly.
I have a question.
And that's
Okay.
jousting and fighting and shit like that, right? It's barbaric.
One thing. Well, sorry, two things really quick. Trip Hazard said, "Yeah, at the end of the day, it's the parents' decision whether or not to take their young kids to watch it or not." And I agree with that. Obviously,
I don't give a fuck what other parents want to do. If they want to do that, that's their prerogative, not mine.
I'm playing a little bit of devil's advocate. I don't actually believe in. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. But What? What?
Out the kitchen,
No,
I
this
got
is
a little
good.
hot
Like,
in your mouth, baby.
No, I'm saying because I ask these questions not because I'm like, oh, gotcha. Like I don't want to fucking got him.
Civil discourse. Civil discourse.
I
You know what
mean,
I mean?
sometimes you do. Sometimes you
Yeah,
do, but
especially
it's
Save.
okay.
Fuck you, Save.
Yeah, I know. Fuck you too, motherfucker.
Nah,
But
just
we are.
like,
But you also have to understand that we're coming from two different places. You know
but
what I
it's
mean? Like
also like
one
it's
as a
also out of
parent, one as not. I've got a couple years on you experience. Like the eras that we grew
oh,
up in
trying to
are
little bro me here.
no, no,
Okay,
no, no. I'm not. No, no. That is definitely not what I'm
I'm
trying to
just
do.
kidding. I'm
But
just
I'm
kidding.
just saying, like, although there's only like 7 or 8 years between us, there's still a gap of time where we've experienced complete different shit.
Sure.
Ooh, Kelly Grigg, the lovely, wonderful fan of the show. It is just a performance like a play. It is a costume. It is a persona. Are they generally for children? No. Could you find a performance that is less sexualized?
No.
Absolutely. I have seen tons that were not
Hello,
sexual in any
brother.
manner, and some where wouldn't even question that person was of the opposite sex. So it doesn't always bring up questions. Thank you, Kelly, so much for your support on
Sure.
everything that we do. You know what, you guys? I appreciate you guys because there has been people who have came from your streams who have hopped on mine, and I fucking appreciate that. I appreciate you, Kelly. Um, the problem is I think especially for me and Cisco, because I've seen drag shows, I've been to these bars, whatever, and I think I just have seen what I have witnessed with my own two eyes versus what I haven't witnessed is what makes it hard for me to come to an agreement with it. I think that's our
Sure.
problem. But
I
Zero,
and
please,
I can agree
I
please.
with
wanted
that.
to.
I can agree with
I
that.
wanted. I wanted to. I wanted to touch on something super quickly. If there was, obviously, it's not the same. It's. I'm trying to bring this like to a not a conclusion, but like to a compare, like a comparison. Um, if there was some sort of ritual, right, that a different country did or a different religion did that you found respectable, but it has some sort of feminine or male nudity, would you ever be okay? And it be let's say it's in the realm of like I said, you respect it, you find it very very I don't know, just like admirable that people do this ritual. Would you ever take your child to something like that to witness something like that? Not that
No,
like people are getting sacrificed. They're like let's say dancing or like doing something like that.
no,
Yes.
I would not.
No.
See
And
now,
I'll give you my only reason. I'll give you my only reason
okay,
because you said if you were interested in something, would you take your child to go see that? No.
Mm-hmm.
you can't say
Personally, I
because you're not
wouldn't.
interested.
What?
Is it because you're not interested?
No. I just said I was interested in doing those things.
Okay, so why?
Hey, Jordan was cracking,
Because
baby.
I'm the one interested in it. Why does he like I'm interested in
Oh, okay, okay,
paintballing.
okay.
I'm
I
interested in
got you. I
crump
got you.
sessions. I don't have to take my child to do those things.
Sure.
Now,
Ooh, fair.
now if I want my child to be into those things, right? Like Elijah has been going to sessions since that motherfucker was one. You know what I mean? Like
Since
6 months
before he
old,
was
he's been
born.
at the sessions. You know what I mean? Like, but that's because I know how passionate Korpsx is about crump dancing, and he would love for his son to follow down that path. So he experienced it at an early age. He was out there dancing in circles, enjoying himself. But it's because that's the culture of that. Now for paintball or dance, like personally I would not take my son to those types of things. Personally,
Okay.
because
You're
I feel that especially like sessions, sometimes things can get a little aggressive and very roughhousey, and that's not
yeah.
what I don't want my
You want
son
to
to
yeah.
be like that. But
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I enjoy doing. You know what I mean? And that's just the way that I'm gonna parent.
No, I think
And I
this
don't
is
take any
kind of
of like I don't take anything away from Korpsx for bringing. Just for the record, I don't take anything away from Korpsx for bringing his son to sessions. We just parent differently. That's it.
yeah. And it has been hard for me to choose sessions to take my son to, because even some of the safe sessions that I thought were safe spaces have turned into violent spaces, violent in the worst ways. And I just try, I try to bank on, and I'm gonna, I hope I can complete this thought with this example is I try to bank on if the space that I'm taking him is more good than the possibility of bad occurring. And at powwows, which I love, saved my life, right? There, some powwows will have an exhibition which they call the switch dance, right? And what happens is a dude will dress up in girl regalia and girls will dress up in male regalia. And it's generally more the guys dressing up as the girl, and it's just a fun, it's a gag, it's a fucking gag, bro, and it's funny as hell. And usually what it's supposed to do is display that you're not only paying attention to the dance that you know, the style of dancing that you know, but you are also knowledgeable and experienced enough to know how to do the steps and know the beats and know that, the all the different ins and outs of the styles that the girls are doing as well, right? And generally the guys that I've noticed who do it really well are the same dudes who are judging powwows. So I'm like, damn, like they're valuable judges, because to judge a style, you should be able to know how to dance it, right? Like I don't really take somebody's judgment on crump, or like me, I would never want a break dancer to take my judgment on breaking, because I don't know how to do the dance. I don't know what goes into it. I know what looks cool, like, what I mean, like, oh, that little windmill thingy there right there look cool as fuck, but for me to judge it, I'm not
Yeah.
capable of judging that.
Yeah, the
And
technicality and all that shit. But I think,
but
hold
Yeah.
on, but I think there is a level of judgment that you can have as a dancer, though.
true, true. But when we're talking about like competition, like I'm judging this, writing something down, you might
Oh yeah,
win a
that's completely
prize
different.
type of
Yeah,
thing.
that's different.
You know what I'm saying? And even though I've never participated in the switch dance, never. I'm not dressing up as a chick, bro. I'm not doing it. It just
Yeah, I didn't want
not
to
doing
do
that.
like when we would like dance competitions and shit like that. If they were trying to have us do something feminine where we would like pop our ass and shit like that,
Not doing it.
there was like, I'm not doing that shit, bro.
Not doing it.
Bro, I'm popping locking.
But
Okay.
now with Faction, I did the Erica Badu piece, right, which was a little more on the feminine side. But then again, I'm not over here twerking or fucking doing nothing like that. Stripper dancing. I'm not doing nothing like that. And again, like I'm not going to be so full hearted to be like, well, I'm not going to be in this routine, because the routine is more centered around, like I said, maybe the 5% of this routine is this, but the 95% of it I can agree with. So, okay, I'll rock with it. Again, I'm not going to let the minority of what's happening right here, you know what I mean, keep me from participating in what the majority is, the powwow. This one switch dance, bro. The switch dance happens on Saturday afternoon, whatever. That's not going to make me not compete Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because I'm also going to be singing. I'm also going to be competing, and I'm also going to be watching. I'm going to be with my friends and my family and my, participating in all these other things too. You get me? So yes, I will take my son to this thing. And when he says, "Why is this dude dressed up in a girl's jingle dress?" I'm going to explain to him like, "Oh, this is funny. Like this is supposed to be like a gag, son. Like,
But
and
then
it's okay."
that's also in the event that he even asks you. Like going back to what I
Yes.
had said originally. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
if if little Kelly comes to school and it's like, my name's Tommy now and wants to, dress in boys' clothes, my son's not gonna be like, you're fucking weird, I'm not gonna hang out with you. Like he's not like, you know what I mean? That's not gonna happen.
To each their own, and drag queens respect choice more than anything.
Oh,
And you
that
know what?
and that's one thing that I did learn, bro. Like the like drag. This is what I learned. Drag is not part of LGBTQ at all. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, a lot of gay men do drag, but there is a lot of like very straight men that enjoy doing that, and it's their hobby, right? Like the makeup and getting their hair and all that shit. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I found like a lot of respect for men that do drag. I genuinely did. Like over the time,
Having a
over
fucking blast, dude. They have a blast in
yeah,
those places, bro.
like you're having a good time. It is
Yeah.
artistic at the end of the day, but
Yes.
like I had to really like I said, the girl that I dated, like she really had to show me like, yo, this is what it is. Like it's not just all these gay dudes just doing this shit. Like there's a lot of straight older men that do this shit, and I sat down and watched some shit with her, but I was like, this is really a culture, and who am I to judge this culture that enjoys doing this shit? It's like the same shit. We're out there having a session, and people judge us because we're a bunch of colored men out there, like looking real dangerous and shit like that. Stage is
Sage is
next.
next.
I would. Never. Okay, let me tell you, I
Yeah,
am.
you had to
Look,
shave the beard, and then
I'm good with my
you
sexuality,
get
bro.
it
No, no,
done
no,
up.
I could put like a little hairnet or something, and put a little
Little
makeup. Nah, but
oh
I do
my god.
respect it, and that's the thing, right? Is like just because I wouldn't take my child to go see these things doesn't mean I dislike these things. It doesn't mean that I
Yes.
don't. I can't appreciate what these people are doing. It's just not for
Yeah.
me. It's not for me
And
to take my child to.
the questions I always pose are never to be like, oh, you guys are like have an issue with it. It's just to I truly want to understand what the issue is. It didn't seem like it was drag. It more seemed like it was like the maybe the like sexual nature to it, or maybe something else. I don't know. And that's what I was trying to get to.
But
Anytime
and
I
see that
ask
and
more like explanatory questions, it's more to like get to the root of it instead of like trying to pin you down to like, oh, you're this or that. You know what I mean?
But
well,
that's
and
what
that's the issue.
sucks, bro. That's what
But that's the
sucks. And
issue that Corpse is bringing up. Like that's the
yes.
point that he's making is that if somebody else was, say, somebody else was in this conversation right now, right? Whether they be male or female, predominantly female though. Let's be completely honest. And sorry,
Let's take
women.
Kelly.
I
Kelly
apologize.
for example. Kelly for example.
It may have been more. The conversation may have been more combative than it already was
Hmm.
because let's take it at face value, right? It kind of sounded like Corpse and I were like, "Fuck drag, like that shit is bad. This shit is not gonna happen. We're not taking our kids to this shit." But that's not what we mean at all. And once you once you do what Zero does and gets down to the root of things and really ask these questions like, okay, why? Okay, where? Okay, what? Who? When? All this shit. Like you really dig down instead of immediately judging somebody based off of something that you think is judgmental. That's when you get into civil discourse,
Yes.
right? Like this whole time, neither one of us said we were against drag. Neither one of us said that the people that do drag are dumb or any of that shit. We just said we're not taking our kids to go see that shit. At the end of the day,
Hmm.
that's all it is. I respect those people. I love what they do. I think that it's very artistic. I love their culture. I'm not doing it, and I'm not taking my kids to go see it. I really have no interest in going to a drag show. But if that's what they want to do, if that's what makes them happy, by all means, do it. I don't give a fuck.
See, and I think that is a and like not and I just say like using Kelly as example is how she's in her own words to each their own. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that because everybody can have their own opinions, their own lifestyles. I don't judge anyone by the way they choose to live their life as long as they're not hurting nobody. Don't hurt, just be nice. Don't hurt nobody, bro. And it sucks that we've reached this point in our society and especially here in America where if I say I'm not going to take my son to that, I get hit with all the suffixes. Like we were saying earlier, I get hit with every single suffix. And it's like, no, bro, that's not what that is, right?
Now
And
you're homophobic.
right, all these
To be
words,
honest.
all
You're
and that's why
misogynistic.
To be
goddamn
honest.
right. Goddamn right. And that's why I love saying that shit on here because it's like you guys won't even take 5 minutes to not even just talk with me about it. So why would I even give you my honest opinion on anything? Why do you deserve my honest opinion? Like I've gotten into this thing where I would rather reserve the best parts of myself for the people who truly earn it and truly deserve it, right? Like
Yeah, and we've talked about that.
because for too long I've just been getting pulled and pulled and pulled and pulled and pulled and I'm like no more, no longer. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks because we've also talked about why should I change who I am? Why should I hold back the way that I actually live and the way that I actually see the world, the way I want to converse with people? Why? Just because a couple dipshits made me feel a certain way or they didn't respect my words. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
that's the other thing is that this type of discourse is healthy because of the fact that people that do think differently or against the grain, which is now what we are, right? Like because we don't choose to abide by the social norms of whatever the fuck is going on these days. Now we're the minority, right? And the
Mhm.
only reason that we become the minority is because we become so afraid that we are going to be judged based off the things that we say, even though like we have like there is no hate. Like I
Mhm.
always say, bro, I live my life with love. for everybody. As long as you're happy, as long as you're healthy and doing whatever the fuck you want to do, and you, like you said, not hurting anybody, dude, I could give a fuck less what you like. Whatever the fuck you want to do, handle it, bro. Handle whatever the
Mhm.
fuck you want to do.
I have a question.
Answers.
Somebody in the comments.
Whenever
Crystal
we
Waters
get into
speaks.
these serious ass conversations, Zero's always just like this.
He's self-soothing.
What the fuck? In the comments, I have Big Mama's House versus Mrs. Doubtfire versus Tyler Perry Medea movies. Which movie/movies is better?
Okay, I will
Which
say
is better.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Corpse. You go first.
fuck Tyler Perry first off, but
Whoa, Jesus.
fuck Tyler
Why did
Perry
he catch a stray?
Wait, why?
because he got Monique canceled, and he did like this whole. There's like this whole thing on him and her. What?
Oh, my bad.
That's
Hey,
okay.
is that
Let him slide.
like-
Let him slide. Okay. He
Is
don't
that
put
like
salt on his
Beyonce
chicken.
level
Let
fan?
him slide.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't put salt in most things, to be honest.
She is a famous black comedian.
I'm about to somebody clip that shit for me, please, bro. I
I
need that
don't,
clip
bro.
right there.
Salt is overrated. I'm sorry.
Medea, I think, had the greatest lessons, and not the movies, but the plays, the recorded plays.
Thank you. That's
Stage
what I was
plays.
about to say. The plays
Fucking
are hilarious, bro.
Phenomenal.
They're so fucking funny. They're so fucking funny.
I didn't like Nutty Professor. It was like, and then
Nutty
but
Professor.
Mrs.
Oh, I guess she was in drag. I guess Eddie Murphy was in drag in that show.
Well, I mean, but it doesn't really count because he's playing all the characters. You know, like
He
he's
was
playing
still
like
in
5
drag.
different characters,
I mean, it
but he is in
counts,
drag.
Yeah.
But it adds to. I think it adds to his genius more than saying, "Oh, I'm taking on a character of a like the focal point of a woman" type of thing. You know, Mrs. Doubtfire, even though I can barely remember the movie, will always hold a very special place to me because one, it's Robin Williams, and I remember I think it was maybe like the third or fourth time I ever watched. No, maybe the second time I ever watched the movie was after my parents had divorced. And I remember I was watching it with my dad, and bro, he was like, I could hear him going, and I looked, I was like, dude, like, Pop, are you crying? Just watch the movie. He's like, okay, and like, you know, it's like, okay, dude. And so I'm watching the movie, and I'm slowly realizing, like, oh my god, my dad is probably thinking, like, you know, my kids, what I would do for them, you know, the type of thoughts that run through your head, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so Doubtfire would always have a very special place in my heart. But Medea, I think, held, just because there's so many of them, there was just so many life lessons. And so I like that there was a lot of Christian reference too in there. Like it made Christianity very, even when I watched it, that was like during my like atheist era. It made Christianity digestible to me. It made it like, it made me be like, oh, this is what good Christianity looks like. This is what good scripture being applied to life looks like. Oh, okay. So I do, but I don't like Tyler Perry at all.
Okay, I'll answer the question, but I need you to answer the question for me first, Zero. Out of all those movies listed, which ones have you seen?
No, I think I've seen a Tyler Perry movie. I think I've seen a Tyler Perry movie.
Wait. A Tyler Perry movie and a Medea movie are two different things.
I think I've seen a Medea movie. I remember there was this one scene in particular where there was this bigger lady going down a water slide, and then she
That's
like hits
definitely
this scrawny dude.
Norbert. That's definitely Norbert.
Norbit?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Okay, my bad. Never mind.
Uncultured,
My
bro.
bad. I'm so sorry. Well, I don't know which Avengers that one was, but I'll try to brush up on it. Okay.
Yo, hey. Oh my!
That's only half a joke too.
That's Norbit. Norbit. Tapped in. That's
Norbit.
Norbit.
Alrighty, my bad.
See, and you guys are probably going to hate me for this, but I don't like Eddie Murphy as an actor. I always liked him as a comedian. His stand-up shit was like Delirious.
Coming to America?
Coming to America was cool, but like it was like,
Nutty Professor?
The grown.
Nutty Professor is pretty cool. Like, you know what I mean? Now his voiceovers like Donkey.
Shrek? Yeah.
Yeah, his voiceovers as Donkey was fucking phenomenal. But like him, main character type thing, like Nutty Professor was like, oh, when I was older and watched it again, I was like, oh shit, like this dude's brilliant. Like he can take on all these different characters. Norbit too, like, oh, he can play these
Mm,
different characters.
Norbit was
But I was like,
whack to me,
Yo,
bro.
Grandmaster's on my side. He hasn't seen any of these.
Dr. Doolittle. Yes, I
Okay,
fucked with Dr. Doolittle. I
that's
fucked
where I
with
was
Dr.
going next. I was gonna let D finish what he was saying. No, Medea plays are fucking unmatched, bro. The like, but I just like it because I like when there's humor thrown in and it catches people off and they start like they try not to laugh type shit. So that's why I
Mhm.
really like the plays. But yeah, man, nobody beats Robin Williams. Honestly,
Yo,
that
Robin
man
Williams is the
is
best.
man. Look, and that you know what's funny is that Corpse and I did a smoking section episode where we talked about the happiest people are the most sad on the inside. He was the most perfect example of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, man.
The
That's really sad what happened to
most,
him.
the most, like he is the perfect example of that. That's why you always gotta check on your people, bro.
Yeah, man.
It's hard though, cause like I feel like even when you check on them, especially if they're already in that mindset, like they're not gonna tell you and break down. You know what I mean? Like that's locked up. I feel like if they're really gonna go through
Yeah, but
it, I feel like
it just takes. You could say one word, bro, like one thing to them, and maybe they don't open up to you, but they're like, wow, like this person really does fucking care. Because you know how
I
people that are always about to jump off bridges or have a gun to their head, they're like, man, think of all the people that care. And sometimes in those people's heads, they're like, nobody cares, nobody gives a fuck. But if you're like, hey man, like how you doing today, bro? Like how are you really doing? Or you give them a hug or tell them I love you or something like that. Those could be the small little sentimental things that click in their head. They're like, man, that, they're right. Like somebody does care about me. So
I
it's not even just about the like opening up situation.
I agree to some degree. I just hate that there's such a like after something like that happens. I hate that there's such like a and I think maybe it's a little bit natural of like a devastating group of people who were close to you and that feel like I could have done something. You know what I mean? Like sometimes there's like nothing you could have done, and like the struggle that people go through of the amount of time it takes for them to accept that like what happened and not necessarily the like I did everything I could. You know what I
Mm.
Mhm.
mean? I feel like
This
to
is coming from the
people.
same guy that said, "Oh yeah, I don't just tell people that I love them because I don't feel like I throw that around to everybody."
I don't throw around to everybody. No, I don't. So when I say it, it really means
It
something
means
to
something.
people.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe you should tell your friends that you love them more.
Oh, fuck my friends, okay?
Ah!
Both of you.
I mean, I'm just saying because
No, but
but that no, but that's where that comes from, right? Like
no, but
it's
then
like
if you know me and you're on that edge and I say, "Bro, you can't like I love you, man. Don't go."
yeah,
Mhm.
but
Like how much
why did
more
it
is
take for
that?
you? Why did it take for you to wait till I was on the edge to tell me that you love me?
But
Because you didn't
imagine if I
realize how
threw
much you loved me
but
until
imagine
you
if you
knew that you were about to lose me.
but imagine if you threw that if I threw that around everywhere. It's like, "Yeah, bro, but you fucking love everybody. Like what does it matter?"
It's a
Mm,
dual-edged sword. That's a
no,
double-edged
no, no.
sword right there.
But
I'm not saying
but
I'm never going to say it. I'm just saying like I've said I love you to you guys.
Hmm.
yeah, no, no. I'm not
And
saying that you
but
haven't.
you know what I
I'm not
mean?
saying that you haven't.
Hmm.
First of all, I was giving you a hard time on that. But
I
second of all,
know.
I'm saying your friends, especially the way that you view people, right? Like people don't become your friends for no reason. Like people, you know what I mean? Like you trust me, bro. I just rewatched the friend episode. Let's be real. Pineapple
Real
doesn't go on pizza.
analytical my shit.
But like you got to tell people but even with other shit like you still have to love everybody, bro. You still have to love everybody.
I care for everybody. I care that you're here. I
You got to
appreciate that
love
you're
them,
here.
bro.
I don't love everyone.
I say that after I cheers now. When I cheers like with shots, I say thank you for being alive.
Thank you for being
And
Yeah.
here.
yeah, just thank
Listen,
you for being alive. And I've had my own walks on the edge, and I have definitely been in a place where it's like, dude, no matter what nobody fucking says, this is happening. Like this is going down,
That's yeah.
I've been there
And
before too.
and it was certain thoughts and certain things that ran through my head that, you know, obviously I'm here now, but I do definitely now try to walk amongst my friends and the people who I really, really care about, to make sure they know that they have that space with me, and that I can, and I try to make sure that I tell them, you know, whether like, hey bro, like, you know, I'm happy for you, or I'm proud of you, or oh, like, dude, like, you know, I look up to you, or oh, I'm a fan, or, you know, try to find whatever I can say to be genuine, because like I am like Damien, you know, like I'm not just gonna sit here and tell everybody, oh, I love you, bro. Like, first off, you're not my bro. Second off, no, you don't. Like, you know, like I am
Wait,
very
wait, okay. So let me
cynical
ask
with
you a
that.
question on this then, because right, like I've preached this thing since the smoking section, since my own streams, since we've been on this podcast, right? I've always said like, bro, I genuinely love like I love everybody that I come in contact with, that whatever, whether it be just a random Joe Schmo that I have a conversation with at the fucking supermarket, right? What do you view as the problem with me saying and granted, I don't make I mean this like at face value that you have a problem with me saying that, but what separates you from being able to say the same thing? Because you could easily say, "Oh yeah, I care about everybody. I want everybody to be happy." But like, why can't you sit there and say, "I love everybody"?
There's to me there's levels. There's levels to it. Love is a high bar. And the way that I could equate it is like, imagine if you came to me and you said, Damien, what's a good spot to eat? And I said, oh, this spot is really good, and then this spot is really good. And you went to, let's say I gave you 3 examples, right? And the first one was really good. So you come back and you tell me like, oh, what's another spot? So I give you the second example. And that one was like, that was okay. But I'm telling you the same, like this one's really good, this one's really good, and this one's really good. You're saying the same thing for every place that you're recommending, but there's levels to it. Like, this is my favorite spot because they have such good food, such good service, XYZ. And then this is like, okay, sometimes hit and miss, and like, whatever. This place, stay away from this place. This place sucks. But if you like prescribe everything to the same level, it devalues that high level to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you tell everyone that you love them, when you tell me that you love me, to some degree, I'm like, yeah, that's Cisco. Like, he says, I love you to everybody. And like, I know you have love for everybody, but it's not something where I'm like, dang, bro, that was really nice. I really feel it right there. And
So
that's
you
not to
don't
say,
when I tell you when like every day when we get done from work and we dap each other, bro, we have the same routine every day after work, right? I dap you up, I give you a hug, I'm like, I love you, bro. Get home safe, have a good rest of your day, blah 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 blah. You take my words a lot less than if I didn't say that I loved everybody,
the
or do
like
you
you say
genuinely
you
feel
say
like
you
this is my friend? I know that he loves me, and I know that he doesn't mean that the
be,
same way that he tells everybody else.
because we're so close of friends, it's a little bit different. But if
So there's
but
levels, right?
if I'm
There's levels.
just meeting you and you say, oh, like, much love, like, I love you, bro, whatever, whatever, I'd be like, like, yeah, cool, I appreciate that, much love. Like, I'll say much love to people. Like, I got love for everybody, right? Like, I care about everybody, but I'll never say I love you to somebody unless you're
Mm-hmm.
very
Is
close to
loving
me.
everybody and caring for everybody the same thing?
No.
Okay. So you got
I
love for
There's
everybody and you care for everybody.
Yeah, like,
Finish
much,
finish what you
like a lot of the
you had a
time,
sentence.
I'll say like much love. Like, that's probably what I'll go. Like, I appreciate you. Much love. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, because there's people I love right now that I got no care for. And there's a lot of people that I care for that I got no love, but I care about you, man. Like, I wish the best for you, but got no love for you, fam. Like, you just be over there, you know. But I
Yeah, I
like,
Yeah.
mean I guess I don't know any other way to explain it, man. Like maybe
But
I
the
just
but
didn't hear I love you as much when I was younger or what, but like I genuinely love like there is good in every single person in this world and I strive
absolutely.
to find the positive light in everybody. And if showing love to somebody and letting them know that I love them as a person, like I love that you're alive, I love that you're artistic, creative, that you enjoy doing the things that you love to do, If I'm the only person that ever tells you that, and I can save you from jumping off that fucking bridge, I'm gonna tell whoever needs to hear it that I love them.
Also
Because I
Mhm.
though,
do,
like
man.
if I hear it, like this is just me. If I hear it from a stranger, or if, like let's say the jumping off the bridge example, I'd imagine everybody who is in in that position, one, they don't always get off the bridge, like in a safe manner,
Sure,
um,
in a
but
safe manner.
also but also I don't know. To me, it's like if I was in that position, I feel like I would just be like, bro, you're just saying this. Like you're saying that you love me because you don't want me to you don't want to clean up the mess at the bottom. That's
Oof.
like what I'm thinking.
See,
But
this is. But do you remember what I told you earlier today?
what? Well, what you told tell
We
me?
were walking down the stairs. What did you say? You were like, "Oh, did you not want me to come over there while you guys were talking? Like, did you want me to go that way?"
Oh, I was jokingly, yeah.
I know,
you
but do you remember? But do you remember what I said to you?
that I needed to be a sensitive, not stop being a sensitive bitch.
Well, I said, I did say that. I did say that. Why you
You
gotta start
did
with the
say that.
negative? But there
That's
was
what you
something. There
said.
was
What do you mean?
no. There was something I said right before that.
Um, you could see your penis through your pants.
Well, that's every day.
How dare
But
you?
I was just like,
do you remember
How
what I said
dare
though? No,
you?
like genuinely, do you remember what I
I
said?
genuinely, I need to know what you're trying to allude to. No,
Okay, I said
if I
you're.
wasn't, if I didn't want you there, I would tell you.
No, I said you're so matter of fact. Like you hang on to like
Oh, I'm
exact
literal.
words. What people you're very
Oh, my
literal
light went out.
is what I said.
Um.
I said, bro, you got to stop being so literal all the time.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you are, and it's not a bad thing. I actually like that you are like that because it allows us to have conversations like this. But you are so literal. Like you
Yeah.
Mhm.
you are matter of fact and very literal. And if somebody says something, you're like, oh, that's exactly what they meant by that.
In my head, I'm like, yeah. Why the fuck else would you say it?
Yeah, that's important. It is important. It is important.
But people like majority
I
of
get,
people are not like that.
I get it. I try to loosen up, especially like I think the farther away you get from me, the more I'm like, you probably mean X, Y, Z, whatever, whatever. The closer you are, I'm like, you literally said X, Y, Z, and this is how I took it. Like, no shit. What do you
Hold on.
mean?
To the whole point of everything is it's funny because Save, you almost hit yourself with a conundrum where when he's saying to somebody, "I love you," he's being very matter of fact, right? He has the
Correct.
proof. You're saying loosen up, right? Everyone doesn't
Oh.
mean it exactly the same,
No, no,
Ah,
no.
right?
I'm not necessarily telling it. I'm not saying for like this specific thing. I'm just saying in general because this is the conversation. Sure, I understand. But like he just said, right? Cisco tells everybody that he loves them, and I know who Cisco is. And there's levels to certain shit. So when Cisco tells me, "Hey, bro, I love you, bro. You know, like make sure you make it home safe. Text me whenever whatever the fucking case may be." Damien knows that the level of love that I have for him is on a different level than if I was just to walk up to a Joe Schmo at the grocery store, have a conversation with 30 minutes, and be like, dap him up, and be like, you know what, man, I love you. You have a great energy, this, that, and the other. I don't mean the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
no,
agree, there are levels,
Yeah.
but like if I meant it like in a literal sense, like I don't love you the same way that I love my child.
Hmm.
no, I know. I
So I
guess.
still gotta say I love you to you. I
Oh,
still do love you.
Hmm.
yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like I don't love you like, or you probably don't love me the same way that you love your old lady. You know what I mean? Like
So is
that's a
there levels
different
to
kind of
it?
love. Yeah,
So there's
There's
levels to
levels.
it. There's definitely
there are
levels to it.
levels. Yes, but I
Hmm.
don't think because you say it so frequently, you digress from the levels.
I just
Personally, I don't think that.
like. Wait, do you agree to the example that he gave about the restaurants? To some degree, I might not have been perfect
Yes,
with it, but you
I
know what I
do
mean.
agree. I do. I wouldn't say I agree. I understand where you're coming from because
So
to
eventually,
me,
you'd be like,
because
I'm
if you
never
were like,
taking Damien's food takes. Like, bro, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's saying this place is good and this place is good. How could they be How could they both be good? This place has 2 stars on Yelp. This one has a
Yeah,
5
but I
star
don't think it goes.
Michelin.
I don't think it goes hand in hand, though. I don't think it goes hand in hand
I'm just saying how
because
words can be
here's how
devalued the more you use
here's
them.
how I look at no, because here's how I look at it. You could think Cane's is really. You'd be like, yo, Cisco, Cane's is good, Chick-fil-A is good, Ike's is good. There's good stuff at McDonald's, right? Like all those things may be true to you, but if I go and
Sure.
experience those things, I may not agree with your take
Sure,
on those things.
and that's a
So
difference
I'm
of food
no
is
no.
like a
So I'm
difference
not saying.
of palate
I'm
though
not
as well.
saying that absolutely, but what I'm saying is I'm not gonna be like, damn, Damien's fucking take on these places is shit, and I'm not gonna believe him because he told me this place was good, this place is because those places are good to Damien. They may not be good to me, but that doesn't mean that your take on them being good is any less because you may think that those
May,
places
but
are really good.
but also maybe food's a bad example because obviously there's subjectivity to it, right? Like what I think is good is not necessarily what you think is good, just like you're saying.
Because think about it like this:
Um,
you say, I love Marvel. Iron Man is really good. Ant Man's really good. Spider Man's really good. Avengers, all the Avengers movies are really good. And I'm like, okay, let me take a look. I watch Iron Man, great movie. Thor, and whatever. Guardians of the Galaxy, not really a fan. Ant Man,
that was a
okay, I
great
like that
movie.
movie, right?
That was a great movie.
But you told me,
Guardians is a great movie.
but you told me all of those movies were really good. That's your
Mhm.
take on those movies. I watched all
Sure,
those
sure,
movies.
sure.
I thought maybe one or two of them were really good. So does that mean that I think that your take on movies is shit and you're gonna say everything is good? No, you really like Marvel. You thought that those movies were
But
good.
you would, but you would also, and this is in different context, you would also never go to me for a movie if you're like, I don't know what to watch today, bro. I'm gonna text somebody to get a recommendation. I would never be on that fucking list.
Dude, I don't trust either one of y'all's food opinions, and I barely trust
Whoa.
the Zero's fucking
I
movie
mean,
recommendations.
Food. I am
but do you
based
understand where I'm coming?
and factual
Mm,
with my
uh,
shit.
You like
but do you
almond
understand?
joy,
Factual
fam?
with
Get
my
out of
shit.
here.
Yeah, that's thank you.
That's
Listen, bro.
crazy.
You
One
Fam.
day
think
y'all will
you
mature
think
and you'll
almond
know
joy
that I'm
is
right.
the best candy? That's wild.
I have
But no,
never
no, but
heard that ever.
genuinely, do you understand where
That's
I'm
true,
coming from?
Grandmaster.
Like as the rebuttal, like as
Uh,
the
Um,
rebuttal to you. Like yes, those places may be
I
good to
agree.
you,
mhm.
but
In
I do understand where you're coming from in theory of like the concept that you're trying to create. Again, it's subjective. Like both of those are my example and your example are very subjective, right? Like our taste in movies could be differently or could be different.
sure.
But I don't think that I personally don't think that saying like if you understand how somebody is telling you that they love you or that somebody says I love you to certain people, I don't think it makes it any less of a um I don't think it makes it any less like the words don't hold less value when said in certain settings. Like if I find a girl that I love and I tell her like, hey, you know what, like I fell in love with you, I love you. I don't think she's gonna be like, oh, well, you told such and such at the liquor store yesterday that you love them, so I'm not really like
Oh,
I'm not
check
gonna
this
take
out.
that.
I know exactly how this could be devalued in like kind of a literal way. We'll take that example of like, let's say you found a girl, you've been dating her for a year, you say I love you. And then what if she finds out that as a tactic to get into girls' pants in your earlier years, you would be like, chatting with them for a little bit. I think I'm really starting to feel something here. Like, I think I might like love you. And that somehow, let's just say that somehow works, right? And now
I,
they're like, oh, Cisco loves me. Oh my God, let's have sex right now. And so that's how the game
It
is.
worked
Let's
on me,
say
dude.
let's just say that's how the game plays out. Now,
well, I think this is
kind
a
of
poor example, by the way, for the record. This is a very poor
retrospectively,
example.
retrospectively though, it's like, damn, does he even like we've been together for all this time, but you just be saying it to all these girls for X reason, like that's kind of shit.
Mhm.
You don't think that would happen ever? Did he freeze? Oh, I
No,
thought
no,
he
I'm still here. I'm
froze.
just thinking. I'm thinking because personally, I think this is a shit example. But
What makes
I
this shit?
understand
Why?
the take.
Why?
Like, oh yeah, he just tells everybody that he loves them just to get in their pants. Now, we've been dating for a year, and he tells me that he loves me after a year of dating.
You
Obviously,
could
if
say
I
that, but
probably already got the draws. I probably, now I've devoted a year of time with you, and now you're gonna think to yourself like, oh, maybe he's just telling me that he loves for what? What reason do I have to tell you I
well,
love you
no,
a year later?
but there are things that shatter your opinion on the person based off of no matter how much time you've had with them. Like something as extreme as cheating could lead you down a path of like, did they even ever care about me? Did they ever love me? Although you could have been the nicest, sweetest, most loving, man or woman to your partner, that thought still persists when
It's like
something like that dies.
brings the
Okay,
genuinity of the
no, no, okay.
statement.
I see where you're
You
coming
know what I
from.
mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. That was a good example. The cheating thing was a good example.
That's actually a pretty solid example.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all.
And you know what? Just to kind of bring everything back full circle is I like how we went from drag shows to Marvel movies and food takes, and this
Get in
whole
the
thing was
draws.
based off, based off of like what is civil discourse. And one thing that I noticed, in those lives, bro, is
Okay.
one like there was this exuberant amount of virtue signaling, right?
Mhm.
And one
In,
of them,
in these TikTok lives.
yeah, bro.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
God, those glasses hurt my ears. Ooh,
They
how am I
like
sound?
press, huh?
Yeah,
They
like they
like
just
press
press
right
into
here.
the sound of, dude, like into the side of my dome, and I already got a big ass
Yo,
fucking head.
we're gonna be able to hear Cisco piss right now.
Yes,
Cisco.
you are.
Hold on a
What?
second.
I can't pee? I'm not about
Hold
to
on
take
one
my
minute.
headphones out.
I can tell how big your dick is right now. Hold on.
You just hear.
3 inches. You guys got to
Well,
listen
From
hard.
the
You're not gonna be able to hear
ground.
it.
Ah.
Cisco didn't need to flex like that, bro. He's really trying to stomp me. Three
No, I'm
inches.
not.
What are
Shut
we
the
gonna?
fuck up.
What are we gonna?
But dude, there was like so many like virtue signaling.
Sorry, I'm washing my
Is he?
hands.
Oh, I
Oh,
was about
Wash
to
my
say, dude,
that
it
hands.
sounded
was
like you opened up like a Sprite can, dude. What the fuck is that?
Motherfucker needs to drink more water.
But bro, there was like a bunch of like virtue signaling and like very just disingenuous like representation of people's argument. Like, you know what I
Sure.
mean? And it was um like one of the things the dude was like, oh, well, what about when Trump said X, Y, and Z about the Asian community? I was like, dude, I don't give a fuck about that community. Like I'm really sorry to tell
Ooh,
you, bro. Like,
you talking about You
Whoa.
talking about the Chinese flu? Whoa, wait, wait,
yeah,
wait, wait, wait. What the fuck did you just? Wait.
I was like,
What
bro,
the fuck
like,
did you just say?
I was like, bro, I really don't give a fuck about none of that. Like, I don't give two shits about none of that. Like, because you're asking me for my
That's
personal vote for
that's
somebody,
a that was a little aggressive, dog. I'm
it's
not gonna
aggressive.
lie.
It's aggressive. But, dude, this is my thing with the virtue, because it's a virtue signal, right? You want me to come running to your aid because of what he said about your people. And, bro, and I buried him with this was,
Buried him.
Wait,
do
on
you
TikTok Live, you said I don't give a fuck about the Chinese community.
no,
Or
I
No,
was
the
like,
no.
I was like, no, I said it. I said, I do not give a fuck about your community because I was like,
Oh,
can you tell me what MMIW is? Well, what is that exactly, dipshit? So you can't even tell me the organization for murdered, missing Indigenous women who hold the highest percent of rape and murder. You can't even tell me what that acronym means, but you want me to come running to your aid and change my political ideology just based off of some inflammatory comments. But you can't even tell me what our movement is. So
Ooh, hold on. I'm about to say something crazy right now. I'm
let's
about
hear
to
it.
say something crazy, and I don't know if I really want to go off of this, but it just clicked in my head when you just said that. I'm about to say something crazy, bro. Did you keep that same energy when Black Lives Matter came out?
Yes, absolutely. And I pulled up to those rallies because my son is part, he's part black. My nieces and nephews. I have a niece and
Wait,
a nephew.
but you care about that movement then?
No, the movement, the organization as a movement, I do not give a fuck about. But I do understand their plight and I hear their struggle. I hear all of that, right? But when we start to say, "Oh, you guys are now a actual legal organization," I now begin to question your motives, which we saw later on down the line. The fucking the organizers of that movement were buying like multi-million dollar mansions and shit with the
Yeah.
donations they were receiving.
I heard they like took 3 mil or something like that, like out of donations.
That
Hey,
was
hey, boo,
that is
get your paper, boo. I don't.
factual, bro. That is
Those are
no, no,
facts.
no. You don't get your paper like that, bro.
Hey, listen, get your paper, boo. I don't give a fuck. Fuck over whoever you got to.
Bro, that's crazy. Get
I
your
don't
Oh,
give
papers
a,
off.
but then again, I don't give a fuck what you guys are doing. I don't care. I am here because I do not believe people should be murdered in the street. I don't believe in racism. I don't believe in X, Y, and Z. Like this
Whoa,
is what I'm
you
here
don't
for.
believe racism exists, or you don't believe like there should be racism?
No, I know.
What do you
Oh,
mean?
no. Racism exists, but I don't
Okay,
believe in racism. I don't believe that you should judge somebody just solely based off their birth. I don't believe that. That is fucking crazy to me, right? Because I beef with more Native Americans than I do anybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, really, truly, I have more problems within my own. I have more problems with people in my own community, right? And my dad always taught me. I remember he was working the Bernie Sanders campaign, and then he got a call for the Trump campaign. And I remember talking to him about it. I was like, how can you just switch like that? He's like, well, I used to work for Ronald Reagan. And I'm like, damn, that's true. And we got to talking, and he's like, I don't care about none of this shit. He goes, I vote and I work for the people who are going to satisfy my interests. And I was like, that is true. That's why we vote for these people, right? Like we have certain interests that we want to see satisfied. And sure, they have a certain policy on this and they have a certain policy that affects that. But if the other person doesn't hold any of my interests, then why am I going to vote for them or support them just because I don't agree with two of the things that they might agree on? Like, like, and it makes you get into the political science of it, the bait and switch, the this, the that, the politics. That's what's politicking. You know what I mean? People get to politic, and I'm not going to get wrapped up in nobody's social movement. I'm not going to get wrapped up in that, bro. I will. And I didn't want to hit him. I didn't want to be like, well, how many picket lines have you been on? How many protests have you been to? I didn't want to hit him with something like that because now we're dick measuring. You know what I'm saying? But the consistent virtue signaling, the consistent like,
well, can you
oh,
define? Because you keep using this word. Can you define what the fuck virtue signaling is? Because I don't understand that term.
Or I guess
so
examples of like what you saw in the TikTok lives that are virtual signaling.
so a virtue signal is
Or both.
like, so again, so that whole poster is a vote for Trump is a vote for racism. Da 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 da. That's virtue signaling. That's saying that I have a virtue that I don't believe that racism is wrong, right? So now you're virtue signaling to say, oh, well, then
Oh,
you must
you're saying
be,
if you like Trump, then you're racist, is what you're
it's
saying.
virtue
I
signaling.
believe that racism is wrong, but if you vote for the opposition or you say the opposition, then that means that automatically makes you this thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
That's
get
a
you.
virtue
Yeah,
signal.
yeah.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
there's a lot
bullshit.
of that online. There's a lot of that online.
And
Well,
that's
that's
how
the
they,
thing is that's why online is bullshit now, bro. Like
oh
the fact
my,
that we can even do this, like it blows my mind. That it blows my mind that there's been certain things that we've said on this podcast where we
if you
like
clip it,
haven't, yeah, we haven't gotten like fucking straight up canceled.
yeah. Yeah. Well, again, this is where civil discourse comes because I know when I say I don't give a fuck about your community over there, like that's crazy as fuck when you say it, right? But nobody's wondering about the Uyghur out in the Uyghur Muslims out in China. No one gives a fuck about them here in America, right? So to sit here and act so virtuesque on shit, But then when there's other communities that you literally don't give a fuck about, you don't mention them, you don't study them, you don't advocate for them, none of that shit. Like, it's just it's so repulsive to me. It's like, bro, don't try to act holier than thou when there's all these other things, or just because you cry or you can put something on the 9 o'clock news, bro. Like, what you think it's going to make me change my opinion or make me not want to support the MMIW movement anymore? Like, what the fuck, dude? And I know when I say certain things, it's going to sound inflammatory. Yeah. And if you clipped that little thing and sent it to the,
Yeah, well, there's no context, right? Like, that's the thing that with the internet is that things are easily clippable, but there's no context behind it.
Yeah, and well, they don't hear the discourse. They don't hear the unpacking of idea, right? Where somebody might get, because again, I said a certain statement. You guys were like, "Yo, that's fucking crazy." But I was like, "Well, hold on, let's unpack
wild.
this."
I
And
mean, I
then
still think it's crazy to be said the way that it was said, but I
but
I understand
also,
the point you were making.
like, to some degree, I think obviously there can only be, like, we're all human. There can only be one thing that we can focus on at a time. And obviously, when we're talking about political, like, let's say streamers or people who are going to be a little bit more inflammatory, like on the TikTok lives, where they're going to say shit that's clickbaity and like it grabs your attention because it's like, well, I don't think that, and I voted for Trump, or I think that and I did vote for Trump, or whatever, whatever it may be. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more like clickbait, trying to get this shit off. But also, to some degree, like, people can only focus on one thing at a time, and whatever's hot, like Israel, Palestine, stuff like that. That goes to the focal point of, like, the mainstream, or like even the internet mainstream, let's say. I mean, everything else goes to the wayside. So I guess not necessarily that they wouldn't care for it if it didn't come to their, like, purview, but it's just not there now. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the thing, right? Is that it's I want to touch on both those things, because the first thing is a large part of me thinks that at some point it's a bit, right? Like, this is a show you're putting on for that exact reason. Like you said, this is big in the news right now. I need it to be clickbaity. I'm a what do they call them? Influencer. I'm big on the internet. I need to share my take on what's going on. I'm going to share the take that is, one, going to be the most inflammatory so I can get the most clicks, or two, I'm going to be the like, it's not, either side is not going to be subtle, right? It's going to be left or right. Like, yeah, I'm going to be big time on either side because I need the clicks, the likes, the views, the dislikes, whatever the case may be. But let's take the Israel and Palestine shit, for example, right? Not that I don't care about what the fuck was going on. Not that I don't care about what was going on. But when I'm going through Instagram, or I'm going through Instagram stories, or I'm scrolling on Facebook to see what's going on over there, and I see, like, the profile picture, like Free Palestine, or like all these Instagram stories that are going on. Like, bro, first and foremost, what the fuck do you even really know about what's going on over there? Like, if I sat you down and said, let's say I took 2 or 3 of the people that posted about Free Palestine or whatever, and I sat you down on the podcast and I said, tell me what you know about what's going on. And you can't look at your computer, you can't look at your phone, and you tell me what the fuck is really going on over there. Could you do it? And 2, by you posting that shit on your fucking Instagram story, what is that doing? What the fuck is it doing, bro?
Well,
like, bringing awareness?
It like, yeah, I think to some degree it brings awareness.
Awareness to what? For me to repost it on my Instagram?
No.
What the fuck? What the fuck am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
For you to look into it, to be more informed. I think it's.
What is my information? What is learning the information gonna do for me, Damo?
Well, the more people who know about certain things, the more that they could do. Like, the more you know, the more you could do.
Well,
Ideally.
I have a.
Hold on, I want to stay on this. What could I do? What could I do?
I'm sure there are different charities that you might want to donate to. There are certain things that you might be able to participate in, vote into legislation. Certain things that you might want to vote into.
Korpsx just said I could go to legislation. What legislation is going to change what's going on with Israel and Palestine?
You can, so let's say their efforts to create a ceasefire, right? And I know everyone and anyone will always lean into this idea of, it's like, well, I'm just the one voice, blah blah blah. Well,
No, no, no. Put that aside. Put that aside.
that's how a chant starts, right? Like, it takes one person to yell out, and then a second person yells out, and then a third person, and then now you have this huge chant, right? And so what your hopes is that no matter what conflict or what issue it may be, is your hopes is to get it to your legislators, and that they will speak on your behalf, right? Which we elect them to do, is to speak on our behalf and then create motion into certain things happen. Whatever it is to yield the result that you want, whether it's, blow the fucking place to smithereens or ceasefire, whatever it is, that is what your hopes is. The problem that we're having is that we have a society of virtue signalers, and so they want to post shit so they're on the right side of history. They just post it and post it and post it and post it, but they don't do shit about it. And there's a thing that I have, is that it's philosophy without action is worthless, and action without philosophy is dangerous, right? It's wild and it's uncontrolled. But philosophy, proper philosophy with swift action births change. And so people can sit here and politic and philosophize all day long. People can sit there and act out wildly, and that's where you get all these, radical groups, right? They're just out there acting without any real logic and real philosophy behind what they're doing. But when you can accompany both of them together, put them together and get a bill passed, bro, people stormed, like, Occupy Wall Street. Do you guys remember that shit? Mm-hmm. The Million Man March, right? You fucks have a real fucking problem with what's going on. And again, I sympathize with anyone and everyone. I feel for you. But if you truly want change, you gotta stop just posting shit on your, especially Instagram stories, where this is going to disappear in 24 fucking hours, right? Like, take those same posts, those same memes, turn them into a poster, and go to the fucking governor's mansions. Every governor of every state has a mansion in which they fucking reside in. We all know where our president resides, right? So just go to his front door, stand your ass there until change happens. Shit all over the sidewalk. Bro.
Yo, wait.
I mean, that's illegal, but okay.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't be
shit.
Do whatever you gotta do. Do whatever.
No,
there was a protest by the AIM movement some years ago, bro, where they burnt down, I want to say it was a piece of the White House, or it was the Capitol building itself.
See, that's bullshit to me. Don't do that.
But they were protesting taxes.
No, but you gotta do it. You gotta do it peacefully. That's your right. That's well within your right.
I personally didn't stand behind the BLM movement for my own reasons. But when they were protesting, like, I thought that especially here, because that shit was close to my house, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that shit was beautiful. I thought it was absolutely amazing, right? Like, you have, especially because of my community of San Diego, we have a very large Black community here. And I thought it was beautiful, bro. Like, you guys are protesting for things that you absolutely believe in. But then once the riots and shit started happening, that's when I was like, I can't. Yeah, like, now I don't agree with what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember in Ventura when they had the protest, I remember we were walking, we did our whole march. And I remember I went up to a couple cops and I shook their hands. I was like, hey, thank you, like, for keeping us safe out here today, because they had the traffic stopped and everything. And I remember somebody was like, why would you shake their fucking hand? I was like, whoa, they're doing exactly what we would hope they do. They're not tear gassing us. They're not beating us with fucking sticks, dude. They have traffic stopped. Like, shut the fuck up. These are one of the good ones right here. Like, and we need to let them know, like, we're not here protesting you in particular. We're protesting the bad apples in the bunch. And I remember we kept fucking marching. And some girl, like, there was a lane that was open on the street. We were supposed to be on one side, and on the other side of the street, this girl was standing in front of a car, bro. And I remember I snatched and I was like, dude, get the fuck out their way. Like they're probably trying to get to work, dude. Like move. This is not what we're here for. This is not it. This is disruptive. Like we are here to have a peaceful protest. Get your fucking hands off me, mom. Like, it's like, dude, no. Like, no, you don't get to behave that way. No, we are here to protest. And if you want your voice heard.
And I do agree to a certain extent with protests. There should be some like shaking up. There should be some disruption. There should be some, because that's how you get your voice heard a little bit more, right? But then when it comes to the legality behind things, you know what I mean? Like the rioting and the looting and shitting on in front of the White House. Like that's just shit that I can't get behind. You know what I mean? Like let your voice be heard. If you want your voice to be heard, there's many ways to do that. Especially now with having the internet, things can go viral very easily. There's algorithms on how to get your shit to go viral, and that's the type of shit that I agree with. But when it comes to like now you're showing negativity, now you're showing the reason why you shouldn't be protesting or making things correct about your community, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? The obnoxiousness behind Krumpers, right? Like say Krumpers were going to riot and they're like, oh, well, you guys are just a bunch of rowdy knuckleheads, blah, blah, blah. And we start going and flipping over cars and shit. They're like, well, that just proves you're exactly what we thought you were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the whole point is to not do that.
Yeah.
So same way those dudes that on January 6th when they fucking
stormed
the Capitol. Now you're
allegedly.
Now you're just showing exactly why you guys are fucking these dickheads that we don't want around.
I met somebody who was there, bro. She was a bartender in Key West, bro. Yeah, crazy chick, dude. But she was there. She was literally there. I was like, what was it like? She's like, 1 second we're there, everyone's protesting, and the next thing, like, shit just got wild. And it just really made me think, like, yeah, the hive mind of people is so powerful. You know what I mean? Like once everybody can get on a certain wavelength, whether, good or bad, and
it's the energy, bro. Once somebody starts riling up, it's like everybody starts riling up, and then you know what I mean? Yeah.
Like Crump sessions, bro. You can feel it. I swear I can feel it in my teeth. Like when it's real buck out there, like when it's like, I just be looking at like, bro, it's sometimes like me and primal. Sly, I'd be like, yo, fam. Like it is
primal. It's very primal. It's a primal thing.
Yeah. It's weird that real quick. It's like something that everybody can relate to, even if you haven't like necessarily gone through it in that specific way. It's like you can feel like yourself even like getting into the motion of like, oh shit.
Oh, my palms are sweating.
Yeah, you're like, this shit's about to be fucking crazy.
Fuck
right
some
now.
shit up.
Yeah. And then somebody goes, and then you're like,
See me on the top of the car shirtless, his fucking shit's on fire. Like,
Or you see like a bunch of people rocking the car, and you're like, oh yeah, let me go over here and rock this fucking car. I just want to fucking turn this shit over, like, I mean, you get into it, so it's hard to it's hard to stay level-headed when it comes to shit like that.
Cooler heads prevail.
But that's why we had, like even when protests, like back with the Black Panthers, right? Like you had MLK trying to keep everybody level-headed. Like, yo, you had Malcolm on one side, like, yo, we got to fuck shit up. But then you had MLK on the other side. He was like, yo, this is how we really got to do shit because this is how we're going to be heard. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. But real quick, I was going to ask you, Zero, did anybody else have any questions or anything that we needed to touch on in your chat prior to us finishing up?
Grandmaster had a couple of things. He said that we got him into Harry Potter movies. Now he's in too deep. So
read the books.
Big love.
Hashtag read the books.
Bro, I have all the books and we need to read them. And then Crystal Waters just recently said protest work.
I tell you, if you give me the books, I will record them on YouTube for you to listen to.
No, I'm not gonna listen to them. That's the thing. I hate listening to people read. I love podcasts though. I don't get it.
Tell me, fuck you then.
No, bro. I literally bought Jordan Peterson because I want to read his book. I bought Jordan Peterson's audiobook and I didn't listen. he's very interesting, but he's so boring at reading shit.
Well, that's because his voice is like this.
No,
Like
but it was very
he
like
got a
when he
weird
speaks,
voice.
he is very interesting when he speaks, but he's just not interesting when he reads. It's so boring. At least maybe when he reads that for that company, right? Maybe they have different rules. You got to be monotone the whole time. I don't know, whatever. Crystal Water says protests work better when they're disruptive instead of destructive, like the Montgomery bus boycott. I
I
don't know.
agree.
I've never heard of this
Disruption over
boycott,
destruction.
but
I agree with that 100.
you got to
percent
disrupt the right people because I think what Putch did was absolutely on point. Like snatching the girl out of the way of the person who like might just be on their way to work. Like, bro, I got no fucking beef with anybody. I'm just trying to get to my fucking job,
Yeah, like if I
and
gotta go pick
that's
up Peanut
disruptive
and
of
you in
the
the
wrong
middle of the fucking
person.
road, get the fuck out the road, bro.
Yeah, dude, and there's a thing like there's a quote, and I hope somebody looks it up that Martin Luther King had said, and I don't quote him very often. Is you have to I don't you know his dad was a Prince Hall Mason. Um, you have to choose what type of radical you're going to be, you know. And I even heard a thing that Nipsey Hussle had said where it was the radical man, you know, the radical man uh, provokes change. Our whole world, our whole society is built on radical ideas. And when you accompany that with the idea of what kind of radical are you going to be, right? Are you going to be the disruptive kind, the one that goes against the grain? Are you going to be the destructive kind that burns everything down into the ashes? And there's a value in both of them because through the ashes we could just rebuild anew, you know.
Sure.
But then if you just inspire change through the words you use and the actions you show, right, there's a way that we can also learn from that. And I think most of us can agree, like to Crystal Waters' point is I think most of us can agree that that is a more beneficial way to get, because we're just too far into society to just burn the bitch down to the ground,
Yeah,
you know. Like we have to inspire change, not through just violent revolution, through, you know, that's how this country was built though. Like it's not that far removed from where we're at right now, like, you know what I'm saying. It's really not on the grand scheme of like when you think of when the pyramids were built and when America was established, the timeline's crazy, like, you know what I'm saying. So we have, and I think in today's society, which is crazy because I don't see myself this way, is I think we would be considered radical, young men, you know, who have these wild ideas. You know, how can you sit across from a guy like Save, because Save has said some pretty crazy shit, and I don't want to quote him, and or Zero, you know, he's said these things, and how dare you sit across a man
I'm
and
a
value his
perfect man.
cinematic
Okay.
opinion when he rates Goodfellas a 7.5? How dare you?
Yeah, bro.
Like, you
Fuck
know
that
what I
movie.
mean? Like, how
No,
fucking
but
dare you?
no, but at the end of the day, right? It's like the suit is the seed that you plant and sow will be more fruitful at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Than anything else. You know why?
Mhm.
Why not plant the seed? You know, like today, Peanut told me. This is where this came from, and I just thought of like I was thinking about it when he told me. You know, Peanut told me that he planted an apple seed today. You know,
Mm.
and like I thought to myself, man, he doesn't realize how long it's gonna take for this apple tree to grow, and then finally have apples. You know, it'll probably be like two generations of kindergartners that it'll go through before that second generation is going to be able to eat apples from it. But he laid that seed.
Mm-hmm. That's
He
beautiful.
laid that. You know what I mean? Like he laid that seed. So why not lay the seeds now, in order for the generations that are up and coming, that are learning or that want to have discourse like how we have. You know what I mean? Like, bro, the internet lives forever.
Mm-hmm.
These videos of us, the last 49 episodes, are gonna last longer than we are. You know what I mean? So it's like, why not plant the seed? Why not show people that we can do this? Why not show people that this does exist? Why not show people that just because we disagree, we don't hate one another? You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I
Mm-hmm.
love doing this podcast with you two motherfuckers so fucking much, is because, like we've talked about this on multiple different episodes, but the fact that we can do this, and then even at the end of the day, like text each other and we're like, yo, like even last week, Zero and I got into it at the end of the stream, and Zero texted me. He was like, "Yo, it's all love, bro." So I'm like, "Yeah, I already know. You don't have to let me know."
I was
Like
just checking on my
people
friend, dog.
more people need to do this. Tell me you love me, motherfucker. But more people need to do this. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
this is the seed that we're planting.
And I
We
do,
don't
and
want to
I
see
do.
we don't want to see the destruction. I don't want to see the destruction.
There was
Although
a
I
there
can
was a
agree with you on that destruction can bring change. I'd much rather see change in a different light.
there was a quote that I heard one time. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it's something to the effect of, the wisest men plant trees with the understanding that they'll never sit under its shade. And I'm like, dude, like that's
Yeah.
crazy as fuck. Like,
Yeah, sick.
do what's right, whether you ever get credit for it, whether you actually ever see that in 50 years down. Like, I can't imagine if my son ever became like a politician, an MLK, right, or a Malcolm X, or a Marcus Garvey, like, you know what I mean, or a fucking Crazy Horse, or whatever, you know what I mean, like, or a Ron Andrade Sr. Like, he became one of these figures, and he could point to these videos of like, see, we need to be men like my dad and his friends, and they were able to sit across the table with each other and disagree, but then come back next week and do it all over again. Like, never trying to convince each other, just providing the information and let other people make their own choices, like, and I think that's a part of the dangerousness where, like, coming back full circle to is like, with the lack of proper civil discourse and creating the suffixes to protect certain groups or protect certain ideas, like, we don't let people make their own choices. Like, people are getting fear baited and strangled and coerced into having certain ideologies because they don't want to seem like this, and no, I'm not a ist, or no, I'm not a obia, or no, I'm not a ism, or I'm not a this, or I'm not a that. It's like, dude, make your own fucking choices with the information that's being provided to you, or the ones that you find on your own time. Plant your own tree, plant your own fucking tree, dude. I
You
love
getting
you guys.
emotional, D?
No,
There you are, you're crying.
It
Yeah,
looked
I'm
like you
crying.
got a little emotional.
I was crying. I was about on the verge of crying.
It's
No,
okay
I'm
if
fine.
you
I'm
were.
fine.
Like, I'm not tripping.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I promise
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. No,
No, I
I'm chilling.
mean it's important, bro, and it's important for people to see not only that we're able to do this, but like even like friendships like this, right? Like we've just even touching on the base of like crying. I mean, you guys have both shown your vulnerability here on the podcast. Not saying that I haven't either. Like, especially, I rewatched the episode where you guys interviewed me. What a great episode, by the way. Not just because you interviewed me, but it was a great
No,
episode.
it was.
It was Zero's idea. But just like the vulnerability, like the vulnerability in men and things of that nature that we people is a prevalent thing in social media nowadays, right? Like men's mental health and things like that. But just that we could like that we could you can have friends like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, D and I have said some outlandish shit to each other on our walks that we go on. When he was saying that shit earlier, like
Things that will never come to
things that will
light.
never be repeated. Korpsx and I, we've talked about some crazy shit on our drives to LA, like, but you can have friends like this, and you can
Yeah.
be vulnerable around other men too. You know what I mean?
Dude, I ugly cried. I ugly cried on that episode. I was like, oh my god. And when I watched it again, I was like, oh my god, dude, I'm ugly. Like, ugh, I'm ugly
And Zero
crying.
made a whole YouTube video.
Wait, to be fair, I made a YouTube video about me crying too.
Ugly cried, bro.
I
Oh
cried
my
too.
god. Oh my god. And sometimes I think about
Damn,
deleting it off of Spotify and shit.
whose ugly cry was better? I'm trying to think.
Oh shit.
I ugly cried. I have a screenshot, bro, that the milkman took of me ugly crying. I'm like, oh my god,
Yo,
bro.
shout out to the milkman. Where the fuck did he stop potting or what did he do?
He's just been busy, but he did
Okay.
want me to talk to you guys about being on his show when we can all do it, or however, I don't know how we want to do all
I was
that.
like, damn, I was the last one on his show, and he just decided to stop. Like, did I fucking show up that bad?
No, he's been taking some job interviews and stuff because he's just been solely focusing on school and then doing the
Okay.
podcast. And so he kind of got spread a little thin, I think. And then, but I talked to him, and he did ask me to talk to you guys about it. And so I was like, yeah, I'll text them. But then I've been busy, so it's like,
That'd be fire.
Okay.
yeah. So
I'm
so
glad he's doing well, though.
We gotta figure out a day.
we'll figure that. We'll definitely have to figure that out. And then
Okay.
maybe we can do like a stream here, and then I don't know if he wants to broadcast live to his YouTube, but I could always send him the recording file, and then he can just upload it, and he can upload it like a premiere and still tell people to tune in, like as if he was going to go live type shit.
Yeah.
Secret sauce for people who want to know about, but we do this live, like very live. Like
That's another like badass
Yeah.
thing about the podcast that we do is that we do it live, bro. That's just tight.
Oh, it's gonna get us in trouble one day.
You're gonna say zero.
No, I was just saying. Yeah, I literally have chat right here. Well, on my live stream. But
Yeah, and the
I
fact
mean,
that
I
we
would
bring
too
the
if I was
comments-
streaming off the computer. But
yeah. No, I mean we all
next
have
week.
our own individual chat. Like Korpsx has brought in chats that are like live. It's not like, yo, send me this DM because we're talking about this. Like, what the fuck? That like came live from Facebook or Twitch or whatever it might have been.
oh shit! Can I bring something up real fast that I wanted to
Yeah,
bring
I
up like
mean-
way early? My bad. My bad.
No, go for it.
I mean, I just saw the timer, and I know we have work in the morning and shit.
We got a yam.
You
Show
guys
us the
watch
dick.
do you guys watch the Whatever podcast or like watch clips from the Whatever podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Okay, so there's a clip where
Oh.
there's this young lady on there.
That podcast is sometimes unhinged.
Yeah.
It is. It's
Fucked
wild.
up. I was like, yo.
It's wild. But there's this young lady on there, and she's talking about like how men are misogynistic and this, that, and the other. Whoopty whoopty woo. So then I don't know the host name. You guys know the host name?
No.
The white
I
dude?
want to say
No.
Eric, but I don't know.
I wanted to say it was
Okay.
Brian, but I just like
It might be Brian.
I think it
actually.
is Brian,
Anyway,
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
stereotypical
we'll,
white
we'll say
people.
Brian.
So we both said
uh,
like stereotypical white names.
Eric.
Eric, Brian. One of
So
them.
Brian goes. What is misogyny? What's misogynistic? And then the girl like starts crying,
Yeah, I seen that clip.
and
I haven't seen this clip.
she's like, I want to go, like I want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So I showed somebody this clip, and they were like, and it was a female, and they were like, oh, that girl has been hurt. She's been hurt, like you can see it in her face. And I was like, what the? I was like, no. She's like trying to get out of describing something that she's been bashing men on this whole time. She don't know how to explain it, so she tried to use her tears. So I wanted to like get your guys' take on that. Like, could it be that she dealt with a misogynist in her past and it like triggered when the dude kind of was like, she probably doesn't. See,
know
that's
the
what I'm saying. She
definition.
probably
That's
didn't
what it
know the
was.
definition.
I think she was
Go ahead,
crying from her embarrassment.
Personally, I think so too.
I can
Personally,
see. I'd like to
I
see
think
the
so, too.
clip because I don't know the context, but I would like to. I think there's a world where both can be true. Like not both can be true at the same time, but
Sure.
either I should say either one could be true. There's
But it
instances
was just-
where like people.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say there's instances where people like will. I guess maybe it should be more specific, but there's times when people are like. That's why trigger warnings are like a thing. There's sometimes where instances of bringing about like, even talking about a certain traumatic instance will bring back those emotional like things that come with that traumatic instance. So, but when somebody's like, "What is misogyny?" Maybe she thought of like one time she had like one of the most misogynistic things happen to her. But I truly don't know. Maybe it is the case. It might be the case that she was just like I don't know. I want to go home and cry.
But then why use that term?
That's my point right there.
I
That's my point.
agree. And I'm always going to be a proponent of use words properly.
Yeah.
Well, we know
Always.
that.
Always. So
You
so
literal
and
fuck.
I mean, like, also, if either of you obviously see me using them improperly, like, oh, call me out on it. Like, I always want to be proper in my speech. I think that's super
Bro, I
important.
look for
So
every
like I
reason to
could
call you out.
sit and say, right, like I'm not going to support a certain movement, which is cool, right? Because I don't expect anybody to run to the aid of my movement. I don't have that expectation of anyone, right? And so if someone comes to me and is like, well, well, fuck that. I'm not going to worry about, the AIM movement, the American Indian movement. I'm not going to start crying over that. It's going to bring no tears, right? Or whatever, hold on. Kelly's got something too. She goes, if she knew, right? If she knew, you would think she would have at least just started giving examples or something, even if she didn't know the definition verbatim.
I agree.
That is cool because there is connotation and denotation of words, right? Connotation, which is its context that you use it, and then denotation, which is its actual definition. Somebody can Google that because I am not an English major.
You shouldn't have said that because you sounded so confident in the way that you just explained that. People would have thought it was
I'm
true.
almost positive. I might have it reversed, but I know that's what those words mean. The denotation and connotation of words. And it's okay. And see, and that's the thing too, is like how we're going to use these terms as an overcompassing description of men. Then when I ask you to unpack that word, because let's just say, like, and I know in the clip he kind of sounds a little condescending, right? He's like, "Can you define misogyny for me?" But if it was somebody like,
I don't think he sounded condescending. I mean, for the record, maybe he sounds condescending all the time, but I don't think that he was condescending at all.
I don't at all. But was somebody who's kind of getting like you're starting
Now
to
I want
have
to see
this,
this clip.
dude. It's fucking funny, honestly. But when you're having this exchange and you're like, well, can you define that for me? It's like that could be made to feel a little condescending. But if you have somebody who's an idiot like me, if I say, hey, can you explain what that word means? It's because I just need you to educate me real quick because I'm trying to understand what the fuck you're saying,
No,
fam.
but even going back to to your example one, like it's not condescending, even if you're like because of the fact, bro,
Wait,
you're genuinely using the word over and over again. Did you
is
find
this
it?
her?
Play it.
Is she like a little white girl with bangs? Yeah, that's her. That's her. That's her.
She
Watch it.
is that her?
I'm
I
gonna
don't know.
piss.
No, how do you define misogyny?
See, that's
Yeah.
not condescending.
I don't know. I don't like this.
What?
You guys see it?
And then she like force cries.
How do you? I'm just asking how you define misogyny.
It's not condescending at all.
All right, I'm back. Fuck women. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Nah, but
Can I go?
it seems like she's so uncomfortable though. But like not even in like
But you didn't even see the
even
context
this
prior
girl,
to that.
this girl next to her is like, what the fuck?
You didn't see the context prior to that because
No,
she's literally like going in on dudes, bro. Prior to
Is
that,
she?
yeah, like oh, like you guys are just so misogynistic, this, that, and the other.
Yeah, I think she was saying like this podcast is like really misogynistic and like being fucking stupid. And what I liked what he said is can you define misogyny for me? Right? And it's like, oh, and so I kind of take it back about what I said because I can be wrong. I do kind of take it's like he's asking an honest question, like, can you define it for me? I like how he
Yeah,
posed the question. Can
that's
you
what I'm
define
saying.
it?
He wasn't being condescending at all, in my
Bro,
opinion.
Kelly, only other reason for her reaction is that she anticipated getting dragged to the mud because she didn't have a valid argument
But
or reasoning
also,
for her thoughts. Then
why go on that podcast? That is what they fucking
Yeah,
do.
you
Like
know
that
what
is,
you know what it
bro.
is.
She
Like
knew what she was getting into, and then she
that's what it is.
in
You knew what
in
it was when you signed up.
from the little bit that I saw, it seems like she kind of just broke down and didn't want to look dumb or like feel embarrassed. I don't know. She
But
might
she
have had a
would've.
traumatic experience. Maybe
That
I
is
don't
a
know.
part of the learning experience, though. And so Kelly, to your point, yes, that could be a reason, but to me, that is not valid to have that type of reaction just because that is a part of the learning experience. Like dancing, for example, we can even go into math in our earlier years in education. You get answers wrong, you raise your hand, teacher calls on you, you get it wrong, some of your friends might laugh, right? Or popcorn reading, like, you pick the dumbass who don't know how to fucking read, like,
Today, Junior.
yeah. Dancing, you eat shit, you look like shit, you get corrected, you get, all this stuff until you get it right. And you go on
That's
these
how everything is.
it's how but we've gotten into this weird pocket of society where it's like you can just say shit, right? And you think that that's where the conversation stops. Like, oh, I'm gonna hit you with the ist and isms and da 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 da, and that's just gonna stump your fucking argument. It's like, whoa, can you
You know,
unpack it for me?
you know who I like who does this a lot, and he's like my favorite streamer. Is Destiny. I don't know if I've probably
You've
talked about
talked
it.
about him so
But
fucking
bro,
much.
he's so funny. He'll come up against somebody who like thinks they know shit, and then they'll be
What did
like,
Jordan say? Back to what?
Back to posting but not understanding.
Yeah,
Yes.
facts.
Love how
well,
we
go
no,
ahead.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say
Wait, do you like Hassan?
no, I don't like Hassan.
Okay, thank you. All right, I just wanted to make sure.
We've talked about this.
Have we talked about Hassan before?
Who's
Not
Hassan?
on the stream. There's a streamer called Hassan
Okay,
Piker. He
I'm gonna
doesn't.
say this right now,
He's a millionaire
live on the fucking
socialist.
internet. Hassan, you're a fucking idiot. You're a piece of shit. I don't agree with anything that you fucking say. And if you ever want to come on this podcast, I will absolutely allow you to come on here and say whatever the fuck you want. You're a fucking idiot. I fucking hate Hassan. He's an idiot. I do not like anything that he has to say. He's a piece of shit. Honestly.
I like you, Hassan, and I would love
Damn.
you to be on this fucking podcast because who cares what Save says?
Yeah.
Zero, what you got,
Hassan's
baby?
a fucking idiot.
No, I was just saying I like Destiny. A whole different streamer. A whole different streamer. No, the reason I do though is because he'll bring people on who like claim that they know shit, and he's like, okay, like let's chat. But Destiny's very well read in whatever avenue he's about to talk to you in. So like when he's accepting a chat about something, you should know that he's very well read in whatever we're about to talk about.
Yeah, he's
And
prepared.
so he'll go in and they'll be like, oh, well, this happened on this date, and then like XYZ, and like maybe even sprinkle in a bit of like theories and try to get away. And usually in conversations, you're able to get away with things because maybe somebody's not as well read as maybe Destiny or somebody else who's very in the weeds in this stuff. But Destiny will get him like, that's not how that fucking happened. This happened here, this happened there, and that's all fucking myth that you saw on fucking Twitter. And he's very upfront with that. I was like, I just like that combativeness. I think that's really cool, and I think it stumps people and makes people think like, damn, I gotta be careful what I say and who I say it around, and
Not
gotta
even
be
careful,
maybe
just ready and
well
understand
informed.
fact.
Yeah, better informed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understand fact.
And staying open to having your mind changed.
Yeah.
Like I think too much. And again, going like back to the whole like TikTok fucking thing, bro. I didn't realize when and this is, I guess, one of the overarching things that I had of the night is I stepped into one of those panels and I had to ask him like, oh, all you guys are friends. I realized like you guys are all calling each other by first name. Like you guys are friends. Like this is very disingenuous what you guys are doing, but I'm here for it. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's 9 people versus me right now, and we're talking politics. Let's go, baby. Like, I'm here for this bullshit. And it's just we get so caught up in these echo chambers that we hear the same information over and over. We take it as truth, and then we smash into a person who will, it sounds kind of cherry picking about what you're willing to debate and converse over. But it's like, dog, if you're going to talk about this one thing with this person, you better be sure you got your fucking facts straight. Like, get your fucking, because one of the people on that TikTok was trying to talk to me about Native American tribes and like some of the things that Donald Trump said. I was like, park it, buddy, because I'm about to fucking let you know something real fast, bro. And it sucks, like, you know what I mean, because people do like.
Did you ever let anybody know that you were a Mason?
In those lives?
Mm-hmm.
I did on one of them because these dudes were these dudes were fucking Satanists. And
Whoa.
yeah, these dudes were Satanists, and I went in there, and they're like, "Oh," I was like, "Hey," I was like, "So what is this whole thing about?" Like, and they're like, "Oh, well, we're Satanists and atheists and this and that and blah blah blah." And I
Satanists
was,
and atheists.
yeah,
That
which
doesn't
was
make
weird.
fucking
I was like,
sense.
that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, can you unpack that for me? And they got to
So does
talking
I.
about
Can
certain
you
stuff.
unpack that? Is so funny to me.
Because I
Can
need you
you
guys to
unpack?
unpack this for me, bro.
Because the devil's in the details,
And I got to talking to them about like how like certain symbolisms and this and that, like, oh, I know about this and oh, I know about that, and yeah, like, yeah, oh, this is true, and oh, that, yeah, that's true too. And they're like, oh, they're like, oh, a lot of knowledge, this and that, like how did you come about being so versed in some of these things? I was like, oh, well, I'm a Mason, and I know dudes who are Muslim, I know dudes who are Jewish, I know dudes who are Christian, I know guys who are agnostic, I know guys who are Hindu, this, that, and the third, because one of the guys was very, very versed in so
You can
many
be
different religions.
agnostic. You can be agnostic as a Mason.
well, yeah, because he's already said
Yes.
Masonry has nothing to do with religion.
But
You
you do
just
have to
have
believe.
you
You
just
have to.
have to believe in a
Well, again,
benevolent
people
higher
who
power.
people who are agnostic don't believe in nothing.
They
No, no,
believe
I know.
something's out there.
They
They
believe
believe
something,
something.
right?
Yeah.
They believe something's out there, and
You can't be atheist and be a Mason.
yes,
Can I?
you cannot be atheist.
Okay.
Yeah, and you cannot be like a Luciferian or a fucking Satanist.
Whoa.
You can't.
Wait,
I'm
why?
pretty sure you can.
You can't.
Why?
Now there is people who take their oaths and are not clandestine, for sure. I will never deny that. But no, to be a Mason, you have to believe in a benevolent higher power. Have to 110%. And you generally take your oaths on a volume of sacred text.
Well,
But thank you guys for watching another
I got a
episode.
dip.
Go ahead,
We got
Punch.
work.
Close this out, bro.
All right, you guys, this has been the Usual Tuesday podcast. Thank you for everybody who's been watching, listening. We'll listen again, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, or any of the other platforms where you can find us. Thank you
Twitter.
guys for also being a part of this conversation. I love you guys so much, and I hope you guys know that. And you guys know I always do my little sign-offs, right? And I got a little book. That I'm starting to kind of go through.
Why did
Dude,
you
I
say it
love
like
his
that?
sign-offs.
Why?
I love his sign
And I
offs.
always do my little sign-offs.
And this kind of speaks earlier, right? And I did want to kind of double back on it is that, in this world of where everything is becoming very black or white or very silenced versus the loud, you got to choose what kind of radical you're going to be, right? And the radical man or woman is the ones who change the world, right? And a fire reveals a new direction once burning is complete. And I choose to illuminate the truth, and I'm willing to see things clearly, no matter the outcomes. And so I hope you guys decide to take a path less traveled in this world and try to bring more light to it instead of hiding in the shadows of darkness. Yeah. Until next time, I hope you guys have a good day, week, month, year in life. Big Korpsx.
That was very good. That was super fitting too.
Mhm.
Listen, thank you everybody. Sage community, Korpsx community. Much love, and I love you both. Okay.
Clip
Thank
it.
you to everybody's community for watching, whether that be a minute, an hour, you just joined, or you were here for the whole thing. I do appreciate your time. I care for all of you guys. And yeah, thank you. It's been the Usual Tuesdays. Be safe. Peace.
What a great episode. No, genuinely, what a great episode. Like, I like that we can have fun on our episodes, and then I like we can come back and Punch always has something good like this. It's fucking nice. Hopefully the internet will be up and running in this place.
Next week.
No, it only works on the phone. Yeah.
Oh.
Inquiry.
No? There we go.
Yeah, I think I go like this.
Hopefully the internet will be up and running by next week, so I don't have to sound like this. So I can use my microphone again. Everything is set up. But thank you guys all for watching. My community, Kelly, who has been in Korpsx streams for the last like 3 weeks. I appreciate you. Zero's community, Korpsx community, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, you guys stay healthy, stay happy. I love you. Keep smiling. I love you. Keep smiling. And we'll see you guys
All
next
right.
week.
You got close.
Love you
You
guys,
guys
man.
take
All
care.
right. Be safe, guys.
I love you,
Be
bro.
safe, be
All
safe.
right. Y'all be safe.
Peace.
Love you guys. Until next week.